People are ready.
Cybermation uncensored.
Shy.
Hey, here we are. We're live. Everyone can, well, see us and hear us now,
Hi.
hopefully. Let me make sure we're not muted.
Hello.
I think we're good.
Hello, hello.
All right, chat, let us know if anybody's muted, anybody freezes. We'll try to get that fixed right away. Sometimes, there's glitches and stuff. This is our very first session for Dune 2D20, our Team Witches All-Fem cast. Very excited about this. We had our session 0 a couple months ago. We kept having delays on getting started with scheduling and all kinds of stuff, but we finally made it. Here we are, session 1. Before I do a little mini recap and kind of catch people up to the team, what we're about and all that stuff, let's take a pause. Let's back up. Let's do like we always do. Let's go around the table. Everyone introduce yourself. Let people know where they can find you online and introduce your character as well. And if your cosplay is a little different than what your character is actually looking like or wearing or something, describe that as well. Let's get a good picture for the character for people watching. Tracy, you want to start it off?
Hello, everybody. My name is Tracy. I also go by Miss Magtech on the internet, and I play a lot of tabletop stuff all over, mostly on my channel, which I've now changed to twitch.tv/MagiRPG because we're basically only doing tabletop stuff on my channel and not really like other streams. So if you want to come watch us, feel free. That's where I am most of my time nowadays. And I am playing Yuffie. As we are all Bene Gesserit, she is particularly the Bene Gesserit scholar of our house. So definitely more on the knowledge-based side of things. Her main motto is knowledge is power, and that's obviously very important for the Bene Gesserit. So that is her real main motive in mostly everything, kind of the lore master. And I myself need to brush up on my Dune lore, so forgive me, everybody, if I come up. I mean, I've only read the first book, and then I stopped reading the second book, and there's actually one book much later that touches a lot more on the Bene Gesserit that I want to read. So I need to brush up on my own lore, personal lore. So yeah, so Yuffie, she does look a little different from.
Oop, did we mute?
I lost that.
Oh no!
I did
You're
too.
back. You're back now.
That's
It
great.
muted.
Okay.
It might have been
I
me glitching it out just to let people know if you're not freaking out seeing the overlay move in the cams. I think we had some name changes in there, so it shifted cameras, and I didn't realize it. We had Jess and Rocket switch. Luckily, a vampire pointed out in chat, so I just fixed that. That might have caused a little audio glitch while I was moving things. We're back. Sorry. Take it back, Miss Magitech.
I was gonna be her today.
Oh,
Actually, the person.
Yeah, we thought we'd just all trade characters just to really keep you on your toes.
yeah.
Finale?
So yeah, Yuffie just has short black hair, and she does wear kind of typical Bene Gesserit garb, like a long black dress with like long gloves that are gold, and she usually has like some sort of book or something with her, and yeah, that's her.
Nice, well done. Again, I'm just adjusting volumes and cams and stuff. Thanks, chat, for letting us know. We'll get this all fixed, so future streams will just be much smoother. I really appreciate the support and stuff. Rocket?
Hello, everyone. I'm Rocket Fox. You'll know me from such hits as Thursday nights, well, and or mornings, wherever you happen to be, from the Cyberpunk Red game. And you can find me in all the places where Rocket Foxes can be found. Just look me up. You'll find me. But I do also have a podcast called Fantastically Strange that is for your ear holes. So get your ear holes over to it. And yeah, I am playing Sister Insia, who is also, hope you're all sitting down for this, a Bene Gesserit. And yeah, so her deal is she is more along the consort skill tree of the Bene Gesserit house, and she is an instrumentalist. For anyone who was at our session 0, we're kind of a group of entertainers up to something, and so she's the one who kind of does the forefront stuff of gathering attention and all that, and tends to be more in the scope of gaining and passing knowledge and kind of reading people and things of that nature. That's me.
Nice, well done. Jess. Oh,
Hello.
there you are.
Jess. I'm normally just on Twitter, not Twitter, Instagram, because Twitter's pretty much just tumbleweeds and crickets. Last week I was on Hoarder Tales doing a one-shot playing Emerald Templars, which is a system my friend wrote recently, D'Angelo. As well as I'm just here chilling. I'm excited to play with this amazing lot. I haven't seen you guys in 2 months, so this will be fun. Today I'm going to be playing Sister Lorella, aka the Cavalry. She is our resident spy, slash rogue, slash assassin, slash everything else that's shifty and dodgy. Yeah, she probably normally has a raven black hair that's like dead straight, as if she religiously straights it every single morning, with some form of heating system, as well as piercing silver eyes, porcelain skin, a scarf slash mask that goes across the bottom of her face to keep some mystery and some form of identity. Yeah, tight clothes. She's very nimble. Likes to work her way around the battlefield.
Nice. And Ellen.
Hello, I am Ellen. I am a theatre performer, creator. You can find me on Roll to Cast, which is an actual play TTRPG podcast. We do a different game every season, so from Cyberpunk to Vampire the Masquerade to Pulp Cthulhu to The Witcher to Kids on Bikes. We're currently doing Avatar Legends. There is something for everyone, so make sure that you subscribe to that wherever you listen to podcasts and give that a thumbs up or a downvote if you want to be mean about it, but sure, whatever. And you can also follow me on Twitter at LNKGraham1. I do a lot of amazing TTRPG stuff, also with Sirenscape with the wonderful Rob and Rocket. And I am playing Sister Anaya, who is essentially the protector of the house. She takes her duty to the Bene Gesserit, it's the most sacred thing to her. Her will is unwavering when it comes to being directed to do what the house wants, and she sees herself as an extension of the arm of the house, that, you know, everything she does is just and for the protection of the house and for the Missionaria Protectiva. She is a very kind of tall, muscular woman with short cropped hair, sometimes buzzed, sometimes, allowing for espionage of wearing wigs and different disguises like that. But mainly she is there to not disguise herself, to be a presence as an imposing force. Long sleeves, red and gold chains, as in the colors of the house, and kind of harem pants and sturdy boots so that she can move effectively and swiftly. And that's me.
Nice, well done. Now I love it. I think we have a nice, well-rounded team. Everybody has their own kind of focus of skills and talents and things. But in general, we're all Bene Gesserits. We're an all Bene Gesserit team. So, you know, everyone has access to the voice. They're all very skilled in that. They've got the training behind that. So even within those little intricacies of talents and personality on the characters, you're still all kind of, I don't know, a task force as a whole within that, aside from working for the house. And that's basically what the team is doing, is they're using the house kind of as a front. They've got to keep the house going. It's for entertaining. Their secondary is making coffee, right? But the team is doing secret missions or gigs for their mother Reverend, as a specialty task force on Arrakis. So that's kind of the gist of what the team does. But before I start today's session, let me give myself a little shout out. I almost forgot to plug myself here. Hey, what's up? I'm Rob Mulligan. I'm the founder of Cybernation Uncensored. This is my channel. Check it out. It's not just me. We showcase other game masters, games, tutorials, series, all kinds of cool shit. So make sure you subscribe and follow here on Twitch, also on YouTube. We do all the live streams here on Twitch, but we VOD everything on YouTube. We also have an active podcast, a Discord community, Facebook group, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere you see social media, you can find Cybernation Uncensored. I would appreciate the support. For the sake of this game, every month we play on the last Sunday of every month at this time, this place. And I'll be playing the Game Master. We can call me Duke Rob Mulligan for the sake of this game, I guess, for the sake of the cosplay. Crisscrossing old and new Dune emblems for the Atreides. And, oh, look at Gizmo, what's up? Thanks so much for the gifted subs. Hey, Gizmo's was playing Netrunner in one of my first Team Namelesses years ago when I started out with Cyberpunk.
Oh my gosh!
He played the Netrunner on Rio, if anyone's familiar from way back then. Awesome. Thanks so much for all the gifts. Also, I saw, and that's a lot of gift subs there. So cool. I also saw somebody reward a +2 to the team. Keep in mind, Dune is a 2d20 system. So a +2 helps
Could kill
me.
us.
Well, it helps me. It gives me an advantage with NPCs, with contested things. It makes things more difficult for the players. Do a -2, and that will help the players. I know that when you posted that +2, you put, hey, just want to help the players right off the bat. So we'll just assume that was a -2. I'm not going to hold you to that +2. So the team can start off right away with a -2 for whatever first roll might come up. But yeah, let's get into it. The team is all Bene Gesserit. They're working as a special task force for their mother, Reverend Mother Faunus Amelia Laraib. You can just call her Reverend Mother Laraib, or you can shorten that if you want. It's up to you, but that's basically your Reverend Mother. I'll put that in the chat too after session so we all get that. But again, Reverend Mother Faunus Amelia Laraib.
Laraib.
Yeah, Laraib. Usually it's Reverend Mother Laraib. Will be fine. But
Awesome.
But again, you can always just say your Reverend Mother. We'll know who we're talking about. That's the one that gives you your missions that you report to. We can keep it kind of simple, but there's the info. So yeah, the team is working as a sort of specialty task force. They're on their way to Arrakis. Let me get a little bit of sounds going. Shout out to Sirenscape, official sponsor of Cybernation Uncensored. We don't have official Dune sound sets because of licensing, but we do have other sound sets that I can make work. So I'm going to rock a little
It
bit
would be wild if Hans Zimmer just wanted to hop on board.
Please,
Big
Hans.
big fan. Love your work.
Yeah, if we could get some official film soundscapes going, and maybe we can hire him to do our sound sets. There you go.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
I was gonna say, we have the next best thing. We can all do. Now we're in the desert.
Yeah.
All right. Well, at least we got some deserts. Sirenscape has deserts. They've got town cities. They've got things I can use. So like I said, shout out to Sirenscape. Even if they don't have the specific sound sets for the games you're doing, they have something that will work. So many options. So everyone check out Sirenscape. It's free to join up. It's fucking awesome. Check it out. So yeah, some desert sounds are going. The team is currently on an ornithopter. Anybody that's not familiar, it's like a helicopter in the time of Dune. Kind of looks like a dragonfly a bit. Has those awesome dragonfly wings, sort of propeller sort of things going on. Very cool. The team is on just a private one from Wallach, the planet where the Bene Gesserits reside. They're on their way, first time ever, to Arrakis to meet up with their house. Their Duchess Maria, who runs the house, which they're aware of. They know about the house. They know everything that we went over in Session 0. But you just haven't been there yet. You're on the way now. So let's just say you're on the ornithopter. You're crossing Arrakis now. You've already went through the Spacing Guild travels and entered the planet. And you're on your way to Arrakis. You're traveling through the desert. It's a very windy day. The traits today are windy, dusty, very sandy. The ornithopter's kind of getting whipped around, but you can see the city off in the distance as you're approaching. Let's see, got a little, want to do an old CNC. Oh, nice, awesome. Thanks for the shout out for Sirenscape sound sets. I'll check out some of that soundtrack stuff too in the future. But yeah, you see the city up ahead. It almost blends in with the planet. It's very desert-colored shaped. It's made to be like that. It blends in. You can see the big wall that protects, that kind of separates the desert from the city, keeping sandworms from easily attacking. You can see the structures, the buildings, most of which have their tarps, their covers, and everything closed off because it is midday and it is extremely hot and bright out, as you can imagine, on Arrakis. So the city is kind of kept within, but you see it in the distance. You're approaching. You have a few minutes before it lands and gets close enough to approach the house. I'll give this moment if the team just wants to socialize a little, maybe anticipation on what to expect. No one's ever been here. You've heard things about it. You've heard everything that we went over in session 0, like I said, about Maria, about the house. Just enjoy a little conversation on the way.
I would be sitting there, kind of man spread on the seat, while sharpening my bodkins, trying to make sure they're ready, and also smoking a cigar out my mouth, just freehold, just there, while I'm doing this.
I hear that there is a wealth of interesting varieties of tobacco on Arrakis.
I hope there's a wealth of something.
Well,
I'll be looking into that.
there is a wealth of power of whoever can obtain the most spice.
And sand.
Indeed.
I think this will be a great day for our house, but I mean, we need to be wary of Harkonnens. This is, for all intents and purposes, their main area, their spice export. And I have no whims in trifling with them.
I was curious whenever our dear Reverend Mother suggested that we try and approach them as entertainers. I can't imagine them. Well, I don't want to speak out of turn, but
I'll say.
yeah, I wasn't going to say it exactly. But
I think if we were to try and entertain the Harkonnens, our best bet would be to wholesale slaughter of their own slaves.
Well,
I'm
we
wearing
should
my
keep that in mind,
nice
then.
robes today.
Is
I'd rather not get blood all over it.
Ready for some trouble?
Insaya? Insaya, right?
Yes.
Okay, is Insaya, I see she's got her instrument out. Is she performing for fun, entertaining the friends on the flight to the house?
Right
Play a
now.
song for our entrance.
As of right now, she's probably just like babying it, like seeing all the sand, being like, ugh, sand on here. It's
Yeah, if you want
it's
to,
going to be dry. It's going to be the humidity is going to be all off. It's going to be terrible.
Yeah, if you want to maybe play a little to entertain the friends, I'll just allow it for a chance to maybe generate a little momentum. It'd absolutely be a difficulty 0. I would look for a skill of communicate. You can decide
Right.
what drive would kind of fit accordingly. Obviously, picking the drive that has a statement attached to it is what the players typically would do. So if it's communicate, take a look at your drives. See if a statement kind of fits in for entertaining your friends, passing some time for the flight. Pick out a drive and then give me that roll. Difficulty 0. This is strictly, easy for you, just to play for some friends, just to generate some momentum.
That's right, it is. Let's see. My sheet is too small right now. Hang on. Okay. Let's say we're gonna go with truth. My drive of truth on this one. And then what am I rolling again?
Well, you would hit your communicate. If you look at the character sheet, if you click on the skill, it should pop up and allow you to pick the drive that you want, and then pick the number of dice. You always start with 2, and then you can roll that. Yeah, and what?
No. Oh wait, nope, I found it. No,
Yeah,
I
go down
didn't.
to
It's gone.
skill. Go down to skills, and then if you look at communicate, you should be able to hover over the word communicate and click it, and it'll automatically pop up. And then you can pick
Yes,
your
okay.
drive. and then add the drive. Make sure it's 2 dice, and let me bring up the dice on the overlay and give me that roll.
This is our
Here
first
we
roll
go.
of the day, people.
Yeah, hey, and
First
everybody
roll of the
watching,
day.
keep in mind, brand new game, brand new system to us. So, as we go, we might talk out some of the rules. We might look up stuff in the book or PDF. So just bear with us. Also, if you're familiar with the system, if you have the book with you and you're watching, by all means, dive in, help us out. If we're looking up a rule, we need some help, let us know in chat. Let's keep the game going. Okay, cool. What did you get there? Okay, let's learn how to read this too. That's the other thing. So in this case, it would be a difficulty 0. So both are, well, now you got a complication. So you did get a success. So let's say that you got you got 1 point of momentum now to use. So maybe someone on the team designate someone just to always jot that down somewhere, just maybe have momentum, just put a slash so you can keep track of team momentum. There's also determination that can pop up. That's a bit more rare. But you did generate some momentum as Insaya is performing for the friends, just providing some background music on the travels. However, complication, maybe she broke a string, I'd like to say. Kind of fucking up future plays until you can get that repaired or find a string. So you can kind of get by and play for friends right now, but it might hinder future performances a bit, add some difficulty to that till you get that string fixed.
Oh.
Just as this vexes me, I'm vexed.
Well, perhaps you needn't have worried about our own entertainment and worried more about our future audience.
Well, that may be the case, but better it happen here than in front of one of the Harkonnens.
Agreed.
Pretty good. Pretty good. But
What's the name of this song? Insaya, what's the
This-
name?
This one's called It's Drier Than I Like, It's Hotter Than I Like, and I'm not particularly thrilled to be here.
I see.
Certain to be popular with the locals, but
That's straight to the point. I like it.
I can't imagine any of them are thrilled to be here either.
potentially.
Yeah, and as you get closer and Insaya performs a bit, passing some time, you enter the city. You get past the initial walls, the shields allow for the ornithopter to enter. As it does a little bit of radio comm communication to the city, you can hear a little back and forth between the pilot as he leans back and says, hey, we're approaching your house, we'll be landing in just a moment. And when you look off to the side out of the ornithopter, you can see what is your house. You haven't been here before, but you're familiar, with the symbolism and what's there. You can see the two masks, the theater masks, the comedy, the tragedy, with the ribbons. Was it gold and red or purple? I can't remember what. Sorry, I think it was gold and...
Colors are gold and red.
Yeah, gold and red. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you see the elaborate ribbons going down. You see the emblems on the sides of the house building. A fairly tall building, shorter compared to other citadels and things poking up around the city. But the city isn't that elaborate other than the main house that was once for the emperor and who was previous ruler, which now, as you know, has moved to Carthage with the Harkonnens. They kind of moved their sort of headquarters there. But as you approach, you can see this is kind of a 3-story building. And as you get closer, the other thing that you notice is there's a lot of commotion going on. You can see a couple carryalls hovering over the house. Out back where there's kind of the open field where you kind of have, I don't want to say foyer, but it's almost like a yard, I guess, where you would do practice plays, where you mess with equipment, things like that the house might do. You see a couple carryalls, one hovering, one down below, people kind of running around, loading up crates. The carryall looks like it's picking up a crate and traveling off into the distance. The other one's going. People are moving equipment around and loading these crates as they're going, as your ornithopter is landing. As it's landing on the roof, you can see what you assume is Maria. You see the young woman kind of has a cross between Arabic and Spanish descents in her ethnicity and her looks, slightly tanned, which a lot of people are on Arrakis anyways, which doesn't speak so much to ethnicity as it does in location. But she's got her normal robes on, very almost royalty styled. But has a modern touch. You can tell she's a bit younger because some of her parts of the robes are less flowing and more tight-fitted, almost like leaning towards fashion side of things than royalty side of things at times. I'm kind of expressing her younger interests. But she's standing up there. You can see there's some type of assistant or somebody standing next, and she's just looking up, watching as the ornithopter is landing. She's smiling and just kind of waves.
Do we have a title for Maria? Are we going
Duchess.
Duchess,
Yeah, let's
Countess?
go,
Okay, cool.
Let's go Duchess Maria. That's fine. But yeah, you land, the ornithopter lands, opens up. Pilot allows you to get out. He steps out, kind of removing your cases and crates and baggage of everyone's belongings, clothing, things that you brought, sets it off, just nods towards Maria, gives a gesture towards you ladies, stepping back in the ornithopter, taking off as wind gusts up and it disappears into the horizon. Yep,
Can I attempt something?
of course.
Can I attempt to front flip out of the... I
Oh, yeah.
can't pronounce it.
The
Show off.
ornithopter.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Ornithopter, yeah. I want to attempt that.
yeah, let's do it. That'll be your move skill.
Okay.
So yeah, decide what drive would fit best with that, and as always, pick the best drive that has the statement. I know a couple of your drives there have statements based on character creation. Players always want to try to pick the drive that has the statement attached. It's kind of your first go-to, so that can fit in and kind of benefit that. But if not, you can always pick a different drive. But yeah, let me know.
Maybe duty, just to show that I can do the job of performing and entertaining.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, what's your statement for duty, by the way?
It's duty is a sharp blade, so it's a duality. So it's either just performing and entertaining, but also I can use it in combat.
Nice, perfect. Yeah, give me that. We'll say that this is a just a difficulty of 1 for you.
Okay. Let's hope I do okay and don't break my neck.
Oh god. Oh god.
Well, that was a short-lived character.
I was watching some gymnastics last night. And,
So we got a complication. You broke your neck. Make a new character. Like
Oh,
that quick.
Not
That quick.
necessarily. You can
No.
break your neck and survive.
That's
You can-
true.
Yeah.
Just about.
And in fact,
Um,
in Dune 2D20, actually, if you've noticed, there's not really set hit points or damage dealt. A lot of times, it's not death. A lot of times, you'll maim somebody, you'll knock them unconscious, they'll run away, things like that, unless you want to use some momentum to make damages permanent or cause death, or at the game master's discretion. So it is like that. She could absolutely break her neck and completely live, just like in real life. But yeah, all
It says
jokes
using
focus
focus.
aside.
Do I yes or no? Is it yes or no for using focus?
Do you have a focus under your move skill? I forgot to mention that earlier too when generating momentum for Insaya.
I have
I
Canly.
do have a focus on that. Whoops. Specifically
Oh, wow.
on that.
Yeah, that could have
Oh,
generated
wow.
an extra success. I apologize. But yeah, when you do have when you do click skill, it'll ask you, if it's a focus. Click it if it is. If you do have your focus next to
Yeah.
that skill, because that allows you a chance to get a critical success if it's under that skill number versus the total of the drive.
Now
plus
where's my
skill.
roll? How do I see my roll?
Should be right there on the bottom right in roll 20.
Yeah,
I love about
scrolling.
episode 1s. It really shows that we're not above you as the audience
Nice.
in terms of understanding the
And,
rules.
and look at that. Well, hey, a new system. We got to shake off the rust and get it going.
absolutely.
But yeah, just like a 2D20, fairly easy to understand here. Look, you rolled a 8, you rolled a 1. A 1 is a critical success, which got you 2 successes, hence the 2 above that roll. The 8 is actually 8 or below, which is your skill on your move. So that generated 2 successes. So you just needed 1. You just generated 3 momentum on top of the 1 momentum you already had. So somebody keep track of that. As Lorella
Nice.
does a front flip out of the ornithopter.
While slipping my bodkins back into my sleeves as I jump.
Nice. Yeah, you see Maria just, whoa, okay. It's impressive.
I feel like Insai would turn to
And-
the other two. Is she gonna try maneuver like this everywhere she goes?
I hope so.
I assume
I
that the
doubt it.
cavalry is just making a strong entrance to prove that we as a house are formidable. Although, in my
Mess
opinion,
up.
it is slightly unnecessary.
Well, if this Duchess is expecting all of us to do it, she's going to be in for quite a disappointment.
Might be good to manage expectations with the young miss as well, sister and sire. You being a much more empathetic sort might be able to get right into her ear.
And yeah, it's at that moment,
goal, hopefully.
after Lorella does the flip out of the ornithopter, and you have a little bit of chatter about that. Maria impressed, then she steps up and nice. That was very impressive. Welcome to Arrakis. Welcome to Arrakeen and House Sonara. I'm Duchess Maria. I'm aware of all of you. I'm sure you've all heard of me and what we're doing here. Welcome. How was the flight?
It was lovely. We could not have
Scenic.
asked for a better, more smooth flight and a more gripping place to be. And it is, of course, a pleasure to be introduced to you. We have heard much.
Nice.
Could I have brought a gift of hospitality to our Duchess? Perhaps some coffee of ours that we might have brought, maybe like a sampler that we could give to her
Yeah.
as a gift.
I think
Sure,
that's great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we have this.
Ooh,
You know-
do you think maybe?
What was that?
Sorry, you go. I was just like wondering if maybe we would have like some sort of like, there's definitely like a coffee, but then maybe there's like a coffee truffle. Just
Ooh, I
like
that.
it would be such a delicacy amongst this, deserty world to have
Yeah.
like coffee and chocolate. Like it, yeah.
I love it.
You know what
A
I would
gift
love
to
to
the
see?
Duchess.
Since the house is pre-existing, it's a new house. Keep that in mind. The house is brand new to Arrakeen, to Arrakis. It's only been there all of like a week, getting established and setting up, thanks to the house, the Reverend Mother, kind of setting us up front, working it out with the Harkonnens and Arrakis, getting this all done. But it's already established that they do plays. It's very entertaining. All of you fit right in with that. You have the skills. That's why you were put together as a team by the Reverend to work with this house as the front. But they also make their coffee. We know that's the secondary. So maybe instead of bringing coffee, maybe let's go with that truffle. Maybe you bring something to accent what they already do, which is coffee, the play, right? Like you're kind of stepping in, like, I like that, yeah. Let's say you bring that gift. So yeah, Yuffie, if you want to have that, and however you want to approach Maria with that, go for it.
Duchess, we've brought you a bit of a gift, a sample of some of our delicacies. It's a truffle, a set of truffles, actually. We'd love for you to take it.
Oh wow, that's great. We don't get much of that here.
Yes,
Yeah,
it goes very well with the coffee on this planet.
Oh, that's awesome. These, I'm gonna keep this import. Keep a couple of these for personal use, but I'm gonna share this with the house. We're gonna have an initiation dinner here in a couple weeks, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Look, I'm happy to have all of you, but let's step inside. Can we step inside and let's discuss current matters?
That would be wonderful. Inside is kind of like looking at this burning sun.
Yeah.
We're already
Please.
sweating.
After you, Duchess.
Yeah, she's
I'm gonna look towards the Duchess and I'm gonna say, straight to the point. I like it. Let's go.
Yeah, no time to waste. She turns around
Maybe-
and was that?
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say maybe after the Duchess leads out, Anaya might, with the cavalry, do a quick kind of scout of the perimeter. I
Yeah.
assume we've got kind of like a tactical, shorthand between the two of us being more combat characters to just kind of like, suss out what's around us.
Yeah, sure. You can do that. Give me a battle skill check.
Okay.
Both of us?
My fist.
Yeah, and let me know your drive that you want to use. Hopefully led by your statement.
I would assume it's duty.
I like
Duty
that.
to the house, duty to protect, everything that we stand for, our reputation. And especially, the Duchess must lead first. So, how do I actually roll it? I click on the skill?
Yeah, if you click.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then there'll be a bunch of prompts that come up afterwards.
Okay, yeah, which
Yeah.
drive, it's duty, how many dice, it's... Okay. I might use my focus of strategy. Does that jive?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Using a kind of strategic mind to figure out where we might be vulnerable.
Can our hand signal be this when we want to scan around the perimeter?
Which one?
Just
Two
just
fingers?
that.
Yeah.
Just from here to here. Just knowing. Kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that. Did it roll?
I see
I got one
Lorella's,
success.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can anyone else see my roll? It didn't come up.
I don't see your roll. No.
Okay. All right. Bear with me, everybody. It's like every new game, I completely forget how Roll20 works.
And not
To
to
do
not to
my
panic anyone, but sometime maybe by next session we might be switching over to Fantasy Grounds because we officially got sponsored by Fantasy Grounds for Cybernation Uncensored. So I'm
Oh,
currently
nice.
moving all games over there. So not to stress you out, but don't learn Roll20 too quick. It might be learning something else soon. So
I am
That's fine, it's the first time.
No.
I am stressed.
I know you just get a hang of it, and I'm like, all right, let's change it up.
Let's just say no, because it's not coming up.
Really?
I don't know
It
what's...
should.
Yeah,
Here, let me give it a shot.
it should
Let
just
me give it a
roll automatically, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
To get through all of it, yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, no!
Should I just roll 2 d20s, or should I...
No.
So you
Let's
click-
get this right. Let's make sure. What did we say it was? Battle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Duty.
so I go character
submit,
sheet,
2
I
dice.
click on battle.
Is that your
duty.
focus? Yes.
Yep, 2 dice, using focus, yes, submit, and then
Uh,
nothing's happening.
I just
Oh,
did it too.
no.
Oh, I know why. You don't have your numbers in the circles there. On your character sheet, take those little
Oh,
numbers.
put them in the wrong place.
Put them in the little circle next to the focus. There you go. You got it now.
Well,
yeah, okay.
truly there is egg on my face, everybody.
Hey, we figured it out. Hey, at least we figured it out. It's not just a
Yeah.
glitch. It's the
And
stupidity of one of our players.
It wasn't a totally dumb mistake, I must say, because
Shots fired.
I had the number, I just didn't put them in the little circle.
Yeah. No, I saw it. That's why it
So
took me
just
a
to
minute
save
too to
my
figure it out.
ass. Just to cover my own ass. No successes on my...
Okay, no problem. But yeah, you're not noticing much. It's very windy, very dusty, which again is causing the difficulty to go from just a simple 0 to a 1 in the situation. But Lorella at least had enough successes to kind of see through the wind and dust, keeping it from getting in her eyes, we'll say. And you're seeing kind of what you saw when you were approaching. Carry-alls coming and going, grabbing crates. You can see some of the house workers. Some of the staff, running around with crates and baggage, loading up these big shipping container things that the carry-alls are coming down and grabbing and taking off. Other than that, you can, see people coming and going on nearby houses, things like that underneath some of the covers. It's a little bit harder to see, but no immediate threats or anything, anything that strikes you as odd, Lorella.
Sister Anaya, anything to report?
No, apart from that this landscape makes things quite hard to notice. We might want to be on extra precautions going forward.
Managed to shield my eyes from the oncoming onslaught of sand particles.
Yes.
It seems to be quite safe. Doesn't seem to be any threats at the moment.
Apart from us, perhaps.
Oh, perhaps.
That's at least one thing.
And
Hopefully.
Maria seems to have heard that. She leans back, like, "Well, I'd hope there's no threats. We have a busy day. Don't want to deal with any of that. Let's step in." And she comes down from the roof. You can see there's a lift that goes down to the top level. Like I said, this house seems to be about 3 levels. When you come down to this level, it's a long hallway with an elaborate staircase that goes down at the end, going down the other levels. This lift continues on, but she gets off at this 3rd level. You can see there's a couple random rooms. It's hard to tell what's in different rooms, but she takes you into one of the side rooms. That looks like it's a bit of a sort of like conference room. There's a big elaborate table with carvings all on the walls. Some sort of theater decorations. You see like different emotion masks as they go all the way through the array of emotions down one side. There's also some sandworm paintings and things like that along another wall. But it looks like the sandworm is coming in and out of like stages and elaborate sort of firework painting things behind it. Like it's more of more of an artsy showcase of it versus like a realistic interpretation.
I'm kind of imagining when you have the like Chinese dragons
I
at
was thinking about that
festivals.
too.
Love it.
Yeah, like that might be a thing that people on Arrakis do in their kind of theatrical depictions of the sandworms.
Oh, that's
like having a big kind of...
I love it. That's absolutely what House Sonara does. In
too,
fact,
yeah.
you can even see like on the ceiling hanging suspended maybe one of the old sandworm sort of puppet parade things used on stage, and she has some of the older props kind of hanging as decorations in this room. Everything's very artsy, very elaborate and over the top. But she takes you in the room, has you sit down, and just says, so I imagine you see all the commotion going on and wondering what's going on. Yep. Basically, we have to perform a play over the next 2 weeks as an appreciation to the Harkonnens. It's been requested, it's pretty standard of houses to kind of represent themselves to them on entering Arrakis. So we've been set that up by the Reverend. So we have that over the next 2 weeks. The premiere is tomorrow night, so we're on a bit of a rush. We're on our way over to Carthage. It's at the Colosseum. But the Reverend Mother basically arranged this to get you into the city of Carthage. Here's the memo quarter. And she hands you over this memo quarter, which is basically a small black box. Anyone that's familiar with like Dune lore, a memo quarter, it's basically a tiny handheld device of Ixian origins that can store written messages. It's small, black square. The user would write messages one word at a time on top of itself using a glittering needle, each word basically being absorbed into the box. Now, a typical Bene Gesserit acolyte will say whoever's the youngest one of this team would hold this block up to your optic nerves to retrieve the message and basically see whatever the Reverend has written. So who's the youngest one in the team? Who would kind of be the acolyte? Not that you're an acolyte, Bene Gesserit. Everyone has their own archetypes and things. But out of this team, who kind of pictures themselves as like the younger sister or the younger one? I don't know. Does anyone have a preference?
I don't see it as me.
Really see it as me.
We're all the older sisters.
Quadruplets.
Bite the bullet. I don't mind. I don't
Would
mind.
Lorella or Yuffie want to do it? To me, it would...
I don't mind.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Lorella or Yuffie could either do it. If both of you want to do it. As a game master, I would lean more towards Yuffie. Is it Yuffie? Am I saying it right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
I would lean more towards Yuffie, just being that you're more on the... Aren't you more on, like, the consort side of things, more on the...
Yes, I am more of the scholar, but I think more like a student in sense. It is kind of So I could see myself being.
I could see that too. I think that would make a little more sense. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. And the rest, and especially since Lorella, the rest of you are more leaning towards like spy or combat things. It would kind of make sense that Yuffie maybe would lean more towards, like you said, the intellectual side or on that communication side. So absolutely, you take the memo quarter, holding it up to your optic nerves. You see the message. It basically appears as if your Reverend Mother Faunus Amelia Le Raib has written it. The message basically reads, there's a Canley list being auctioned somewhere in Carthage within the next 2 weeks. I've arranged a welcome play at the Colosseum to get you into the city. The premiere is in 1 day and will run for 2 weeks. Find the list, procure it, and bring it to me.
A Canley list?
Canley list is basically a list of in Dune, in the the world. There's something called Canley, which is basically kind of like accepted or authorized, sometimes unauthorized, declarations of war between houses, and it's kind of like spy stuff. It's not like a straight up front war fighting, with the whole lasgun thing, the shield, the repercussions to big battles. They agree that let's do this kind of in a spy form. So they go with Canley, which is basically like an accepted form of houses battling each other, but in the form of like poisons and spies and assassination and like sort of under the radar attempts. Like we've declared Canley between the our house and this house. So now we're kind of at war behind the curtains, behind the scenes. It's not really up front.
It is
Passive aggressively at war.
Yeah.
There you go. Although it involves absolute death and
Yeah, but there is some sort of official declaration. Well, sorry, you go, Rocket.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, you can cause death passive aggressively. That's all.
True.
Oh, yeah. And there is absolutely a sort of an official declaration of Canley.
Yeah.
You can absolutely do that, and a lot of times it can be sanctioned by Emperor, sometimes by the Baron, sometimes by greater houses, whatever you might be under. Other times there might be, sort of unsanctioned Canleys or unauthorized Canley attempts or declarations that might be a little more underground or under wraps, but to whatever degree, whatever this is, you basically have that message. There is a Canly list being auctioned somewhere in Carthage within the next 2 weeks. I've arranged a welcome play at the Colosseum to get you into the city. The premiere is in 1 day and will run for 2 weeks. Find the list, procure it, bring it to me. So that's the message. And when after you see that, Yuffie, and you recite it to your team, Maria interjects before the team can react. She says, so that's basically where we're at. Reverend Mother Laraib has basically set us up already. That's why we've been packing for the past week. I mean, we just got settled and we're already packing up for this performance. But it is what it is. The Harkonnens, they need their form of appreciation to kind of set our house in place. I've arranged it to basically be an appreciation to Harkonnens, their brutality, the harshness of Dune, Arrakis, the desert sandworms, and the fact that Harkonnens have established civilization here and continued the success of the planet. It's basically to stroke their ego, as you can imagine. But this gets us into the city. We'll head there today as soon as you guys can get settled. We'll address that in a moment. But this will get you into the city. I'll rely on you as a team to market the play, please. Go about the city, do what you need to do to market it, make sure people attend the first premiere tomorrow night. We will have an after party. Great opportunity to invite anybody that you can to the after party to mingle, network, do your thing. See what you can find out. Basically, get into the city, do your thing. However, I will need you for the plays each night. So in between doing what you're doing, if you can come back just to help handle things. And she looks towards you and Saya and says, and I know you're also a performer. So by all means, if you can be part of the play at times, whether it's on the premiere or on some of the nights, I would really appreciate that as well.
Of course, Duchess.
And the rest of you, if you want to be involved, the more the better. The more we can make this impressive, the better. But I do know you have your mission to handle. But before you discuss that and you get into it, you can have the use of the workroom to kind of make your plans. I need to get back to my team in the carryalls and make sure transports are handled. However, I see you have your baggage. If you want to also get settled in, we have some rooms here on the 3rd level. We have some on the 2nd level. There's also some rooms on the 1st level. Feel free to take whatever's available and settle in. And when you're ready, just meet me out back. It was nice to meet all of you, and thanks so much.
Duchess, before you leave, may I ask, have anyone in your house had any leads or heard any tell of this list?
No, we haven't. In fact, this was all new to me, until the Reverend set up the play for your access. So I'm sorry, I can't be much help on this.
Been helpful, thank you.
Of course.
Your job, Duchess, is to uphold our reputation as a house, and you're doing a fantastic job.
Well, thanks. Kind of new to me here. I'm doing my best, so I appreciate it. And she leaves. So first, before you discuss kind of the message that Yuffie read and the plans, before you head to Carthage, what I'd love you to do is kind of decide on living, where you're going to be staying in this house. It's a 3-level home, right, or house, but it's built in such a way that it houses the performers, the servants, the workers. There's storage rooms. There's the working kitchen. Typical things that you would expect in a house for everyone to stay there, you being included. The immediate team, right, and force. But there's rooms on the bottom level where if you want to be closer to maybe an entrance or exit, because there is a main front entrance, there is the back to the courtyard. Maybe on the 2nd level where you're in between the ornithopter landing pad, or the bottom level, maybe the 3rd level where you're closer to Duchess Maria's room and the rooftop ornithopter pad. So you see how there's kind of gives and takes and options here. Maybe that's the first thing to discuss. I'll let you guys take it from here.
Well, where's everyone staying?
I do not wish to be far from Duchess Maria, as I think leaving our young ward out in the open unprotected would be risky for our house.
I agree, and I do prefer higher levels anyway. I like to be more up, and it seems like she's on one of the higher levels, so perhaps the 3rd floor?
Yes.
Shall be wherever I am needed.
It wouldn't be unwise to have someone down on the 1st level. I think it's important that we know who is coming and going into our house, if that suits you, Calvary.
I can be bottom floor, I don't mind.
Fantastic. Insire, do you have any wishes?
Well, the higher, further away from the dust, I suppose.
That would be the 3rd floor, although this does look rather protected. Honestly, you might be better off the lower you go, since you will be more protected from the heat.
About that. Well, the cavalry, why don't you stay toward the front door? I'll stay toward the back door. I guess that's a courtyard of sorts. That way I can easily gain access to practice and keep my eyes about.
I'll keep an eye on the front door. The legitimate that enter and leave.
Fantastic.
Anaya, maybe you stay closest to the Duchess then?
I would like that.
Are we divided between 3 floors?
We could. I don't mind taking the 2nd floor.
I think it's best that we are split so we can defend if need be.
That's
Fine by me. I'll take the 2nd.
As long as anyone encounters one of us, they will have a formidable fight.
Agreed. Does everyone have the warning word?
That would be
Warning
helpful
word?
to have Something.
I think we should come up
Something
with one,
happens.
to be honest.
All right, yeah, sorry. I was like, is that
Safe word.
specific? Is that specific to June? Have I just like?
Safe
Hey,
word?
listen, the cavalry has a warning word. He just hasn't let us know about it yet.
Yeah, does Lorella? I love that idea. Does Lorella have a typical sort of word in mind, or something that she typically uses?
If you would just yell my nickname, I'd probably just come running. You would just hear like this tiny little thing come
Cavalry's
running.
here.
Yeah, the cavalry is here, yeah.
I imagine too, just in a conversation. Yes, have you seen the cavalries around here?
I wonder if there might be some sort of not like a doorbell, but some sort of chime or instruments throughout the house.
There are,
Perhaps.
I
Yeah.
forget the exact terminology, but it is in the book. There are those distress beacons or emergency
Yeah.
buttons. I forget what they're called, but each of you can
Yeah.
have like a little button implanted or like on your body where at any moment you can do that, and it at least triggers to the rest of your team. I'm not going to make it so big that it goes to the house or outside, but your immediate team at least has those. Where at any moment, if you are separated and one triggers, the rest of you at least get that signal, hey, something's wrong with so-and-so. Can't communicate through it, but it at least gives that signal.
Can we have it say pineapple?
Love it. And that is so funny you say that, because that was the name of a movie I wrote that ended up not producing and directing as a safe word. It was going to be the surprise at the end for a safe word for this whole torture scene. And then someone pointed out the old school movie Kindergarten Cop, the remake or whatever, used that as their safety word or something and yelled it at a point. And I was like, I'm not making my movie. Anyways, random side note. It was just something. But again, pineapple always coming back to get me. It's funny. I love that though. Let's do that. Yeah, we can say that like when you press your stress beacon or something. You know, it sends out that distress signal. It even says pineapple, so you can do that.
Pineapple.
Or at any moment, anyone can call that out, yell it out in the house. And if you hear that from a different floor, like obviously you know. So yeah, I love that. That's your safety word, your call out, your warning word. Perfect.
Yeah. Maybe there's a musical chime as well or something that we all know. Instead of like safe, like warning, if we have pineapple
Ooh, I
as
like
like
that
our
too.
warning word, but there might be like a
Something
like
a little
3-note chime to be like gather.
I like that. Something a little less obvious. You know, obviously if somebody's breaking in, attacking something, and someone's yelling pineapple, it's going to be,
Yeah,
what is
yeah.
that? Discerning or something, right? But a
Yeah.
little chime, a little signal. I love that. A little more...
Something that's like, yeah, more subtle
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
for a more subtle situation where you just need, or like we need ourselves as Bene Gesserits to kind of like,
I love that. Do you
okay,
want
we
to...
all need to come together.
Why don't you do this? Give me 2 of those momentum points that you earn, because they only last per scene, or... You know, why don't you deduct 2 of those, and I'll let you create the asset of these sort of alarm chimes. And what we'll do is we'll say
Ooh.
there's an alarm chime kind of set up that looks very artistic and almost like a decoration. It's beautiful. When wind naturally happens to hit it, it sounds beautiful. It just appears as that. But you four know it. There's one on each floor, so at any moment, aside from your beacon, and I might be getting that word wrong for the beacon. I'll look that up later. But you can, any one of you can kind of strike that chime. You can just run by, wave your hand through it. When all of you hear that pattern or whatever, you know something's awry. I love that. Two momentum.
That.
You created
Yeah,
that asset.
Yeah,
Super cool.
that's so cool.
Perfect. Okay, so
I'm pushing the boundary. It's like, do we have it be? No.
I love it.
Get sued by Hans Zimmer.
No, but so let me make sure I have this right. So Lorella's on the bottom floor. Is that right? And then second floor is Yuffie.
Yuffie.
And then top floor is Anaya and Insaya.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay,
But
cool.
Messiah was
yes.
near the courtyard on bottom floor.
Oh,
yeah,
Insaya's first
yeah.
floor with Lorella. Is that what it is?
I believe so.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Rock-
Did folk want me closest to the Duchess though?
Yeah, that's what I thought I
I'm okay
heard
with
earlier.
either.
That mind.
I thought
No matter what, we got
I know-
Yuffie on the second floor, we got Lorella on the
Yeah.
first floor, and
Yeah.
Anaya on the third floor. So where does everybody think Insaya should be? Does everybody want her closer to the Duchess, or down on the first floor, or in the middle with
I'm willing
Yuffie?
to take a vote.
What does
Two
chat
with the
think?
Duchess makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think 2 with the Duchess makes sense. So
yeah, so the
I
third
like
floor
that.
then.
Okay, perfect. So
Great.
Anaya and Insaya on the third floor, Yuffie on second, Lorella on first floor. All of you get in your rooms. They're basic rooms, nothing elaborate with these, as it's not really higher up in kind of the royalty chain or Duchess or any level of that. These are just, humble living quarters, but it's at least as such. You have your bed, your basic dresser, and places to keep your things, and kind of post up when you need to sleep. So you have your rooms, you settle in, you put all your items, assets, everything in there other than what you would take with you. Lorella?
Can I carve the cavalry into like the wall next to my bed
Sure, yeah,
with my bed bodkin? Yeah.
absolutely.
Did you say
One of
your
my-
bed, Bodkin?
Yeah. I
That's
have.
the one who
Let's say,
stays in bed.
yeah. Let's say I have 3. One's under my pillow. 2's with on me. So just in case.
I picture a bed bodkin like it's attached, like the handle is attached to like a little stuffed animal pillow of something, like it's like your little
Yeah, no,
bed. It's your bed
Pull the
bodkin.
head off.
Or you twist the head off the teddy bear and the Bodkin's
Ooh.
inside?
I like that.
Yeah. So I have a teddy bear in the corner, right? It's like a Care Bear essentially. And I just twist, grab it, go.
Nice.
That's Slicey Bear.
Well, do you have 2 more momentum points? How many did we generate? Can we?
We had
There was
We
4
used
total.
to.
Oh, were there?
Yeah, we used to
Oh.
make the
Nice. Well,
asset.
well, look, you can use
Yeah.
the other 2 to do this. So now you have that sort of hidden bodkin in your room, in this teddy bear. If you want to use those 2 for that, keeping in mind we're about to end this scene anyway, so momentum's going to disappear. So might as well use it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you have that. You just created. You happen to have that little nice teddy bear looking thing that at any moment you could just twist off the head, and it's a hidden bodkin in your room. Awesome. Hey, Savage McNavage, thanks for the sub. Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I was going to be giving you and others a shout out for the Patreon support at break. So listen out for that in a moment. So yeah, you get situated in your rooms, and now you're back up in your conference room. Maria's out back in the courtyard, kind of dealing with carryalls, getting the last of things loaded, and heading to Carthog. So you still have, a little bit of time to discuss the memo quarter, the plan, Carthog, anything you guys might want to discuss before you head there.
Well, do we have ideas about finding this Kennelly list?
I mean, it's for auction. There must be some place that they are holding it, some fortified place. Where
Perhaps
you would
even
be
a
able
secret auction, though. I can't imagine it being wide news, auctioning something of this value.
That does mean that there would be movement of people of an upper class to a certain area, perhaps some protection moving around. People like that don't exactly. People that don't move without some notice. Whether we can use them to track where this auction might be held.
I have a question for the group. How long have we
Yeah.
known each other?
The womb.
Unless you wanted something different, I would like to say that all of you have known each other for a while. Being that the kind of Bene Gesserit training process and thing takes a while, you would kind of either do it separately, or in this case, the fact you're a task force, I would imagine you guys were kind of trained together to be that diverse unit where, like, you're social, you're spy, you're combat, you're this, and like they kind of made a well-balanced team. It was very thought out, and you guys have been together training for all. But that's what makes sense to me at first. I'll absolutely take any other ideas you might have, because I can also justify that you each trained separate and stuff, and the Reverend Mother just put you together recently. This is your task force heading there. Let's do it. That could be fun too, to kind of learn each other as we go. But it's also fun to already know each other and create your own lore that you might have had in the past. That's always fun too, to role play that shit. So I'm down with whatever you all want to do, and maybe some of you know each other, some don't. Whatever you all want.
Like there would be some former knowledge.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
considering
I like think I was gonna say I like to think Yuffie might actually be kind of new. Maybe something happened to a previous one of your previous sisters, and like Yuffie was kind of brought in.
Maybe they failed the
as newer
test.
one. Yeah.
Maybe they failed
Yeah.
the water
Or-
of life test or some shit. Like maybe something bad
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
or something happened on a mission.
Well, I like that
Yeah.
too. I like that too.
Yeah.
So maybe,
I like that.
Okay.
maybe there's a bit of like maybe some awkwardness because like I was
A
brought
bit of
in kind of new, and I'm a little awkward myself trying to impress you guys, so you might notice that a little bit.
Bit of
so
animosity.
Yeah,
Mm.
that too.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how you slot into the whole.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, because I was
yeah.
gonna say Anaya and I already have hand signals, so I'm assuming we do know
Yeah.
each other. We train together. We're like,
Especially
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we're like both more leaning towards combat, even if like we went through our Bene Gesserit training. There is also
Yeah.
like the more specified training, so I think we would have like a combat shorthand.
yeah.
Um,
And then I'd say if we've known the ones that have known me for a while anyway, for the cavalry, I would say that you would notice she always has this locket on her, this necklace, that she always kind of just touches a lot, and it kind of has like a rose and a thorn symbol on the front, and the locket itself is gold.
so there's some sort of backstory there.
Da-da-da.
Now I like that. Let's go with that. Let's go with Anaya, Insaya, Lorella. You all used to work with a previous sister. Just on the first gig, she didn't make it. It was real dangerous. The Reverend Mother. I mean, it was kind of a test gig. It wasn't even established in the house and where you're at now. This was just kind of like the initial things, little task things to kind of test the team. And one of them didn't make it. Hence her kind of bringing in Yuffie, a bit younger for the team, but assured by the Reverend she's skilled. And as always, you never question what the Reverend kind of implements. So this is your new teammate. But I love the dynamic there and the kind of trying to impress, maybe history amongst the other three that Yuffie doesn't share sometimes, and like all that stuff is always fun to role play. So let's go with that. That sound good?
I like that.
Yeah,
Okay,
especially with
awesome.
like secret machinations of the Bene Gesserit, who like there might be some suspicions there as to what exactly Yuffie has been sent for.
Ulterior.
Oh, I love that too,
Yeah.
especially since she's the one that always does the memo quarter. That's kind of fun too. It always like makes you through like, yeah, they love her, trust her, she's part of it here by the Reverend, but why is she the one that always gets the messages and she's the new one? And like, I don't know, that's kind of fun too. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
So did the Duchess said that there was some after party or something after this? Perhaps we could get to know some of the people and see if we could learn about this an auction, a secret auction that might be happening. That might be an idea. Get to know some of the folk here.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the auction would have been held by that point.
You think so? So is it?
No,
Is it being held at the same time as our premiere?
No. The message says there's the auction is going to happen sometime within the next 2 weeks. So she
Yeah,
set up the
okay.
play to run for 2 weeks, basically putting you in
Right.
Carthog for 2 weeks to try to find it, procure it, bring it to her.
got
That's
In
the
which
idea.
case, I retroactively take that back before I show my entire ass as a Bene Gesserit. That is a good idea, Sister Yuffie. We will be hosting, and indeed we need to make sure that we present a lush and exciting feast for all. But during that time, it would be great to infiltrate and have the ears of other notable figures.
I'm assuming.
Imagine anyone who can join us at our after party would be of means.
I'm assuming either the person of power would be at the auction themselves, or their representative, their most
Thought.
important representative.
It could be either, but we have a direct line either way. If they are sending a mentat, perhaps, or someone to represent the house, we can trace them through that. With our after party, we do need to also invite those people, so we need to get the message out there of the premiere, of the after party, and start rubbing shoulders so that we are able to obtain this information.
Yes.
You do know I am not the best with pleasantries.
Neither am I. I am better with swords, guns, and shields. But Insaya and Yuffie, I believe that you present a amenable face and voice to our house.
Well, plus, this does seem like the kind of place that could connect more wholly with those who are better with knives, swords, and shields.
Unless you'd like to, for me to speak with my bodkins, I will.
I mean,
Best if we reserve our strengths on the battlefield. Better to have all of these houses underestimate our battle prowess.
Fine,
Fair
I'll
enough.
put them away.
You could always use them as a demonstration in the premiere. Disguise it as some act of
Magic.
theater. Exactly.
dexterity, acrobatics.
Indeed,
Surely
I
people would be
could.
entertained by that.
But if I was going to juggle, I'd need all three.
Is
So-
the other one still in your bear?
Yes, of course it is. You've known me since training.
Yes, but I didn't.
I've had that bear since I was a baby.
No, that's. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Just, having something you're so attached to en route on a mission, it just.
I dread to think how many times that thing's been washed, despite
It-
a bloody knife going into it.
Oh, I didn't even think about that aspect of it.
Do you bring
For
the bear
realistic.
with you? That's the question.
No, I would like to remove the bodkin before taking the bear with me, but okay.
I see.
However, Senor Ferdinand stays comfortably on the corner of my bed.
Senor Ferdinand. That's
I bet.
These are your
I-
choices.
I'm calling it as a player. I bet Senor Ferdinand is like a very silly little toy, but I bet the name of it or something has some dark backstory. I'm putting that down on my Dune bingo list. So, do we have a clear idea of how we are going to do this?
But do we have a plan for how we're going to properly spread the word about our premiere?
Well, I think a demonstration might be best. We have the streets. We can get some of our best performers, and perhaps yourself, Insire, to make some noise, show off, parade through the streets. Better to have the attention drawn to us than having to seek it out, no?
Only takes
Perhaps
a lot
I could-
less effort.
Perhaps I could infiltrate the clubs, the higher end clubs of those with stature, and make a convincing offer to come see our show.
I could make
Yes.
some,
More convincing than you.
I could make some art of sorts, like a, I don't want to say propaganda flyer, but like something that is attractive and draws people in.
Fantastic.
Yes, I think that would be helpful as well.
I do not think propaganda is a base word here, as it's what the Harkonnens are paying us to do.
Yes, of course.
But that would be very helpful.
Yes.
We draw the eyes of everyone in this town. Under the guise of being observed, we can observe them right back. Oh, are you talking, Rocket? I think you are.
Maybe.
Sorry, I noticed that it wasn't coming through. I don't know if it was the mic or something.
Probably. I'm just gradually just leaning further back. Yes, I think that's very sound.
Fantastic. Well, I would like to inspect our performers to make sure that they are up to task, and of course, gather any weapons that I may need discreetly as possible.
I shall get into disguise to enter these clubs.
Yeah. So what's everybody have as far as assets or things that they're gonna bring with them now, and what's everybody changing into or wearing? Like, describe what you look like and what you're bringing. As Maria steps in and comes back in and says, "We're loaded up, heading to Carthog. Your ornithopter is out there. Leon's your pilot. He's back there. Whenever you're ready, he'll take you into Carthog. I'll meet you there." And she leaves. But let's go around the table at least. Describe assets, things that you're going to bring with you, anything that you have, and then the way that you look. Do you want to start it off, Anaya?
Yeah, I just have to get up the.
Or if anyone else is
proper
already
name.
ready, start it off. If anybody already has their...
I'm good. I will not be bringing a personal shield, as shit's dangerous on Arrakis. Keeping in mind, we are going through a town, so, you know, paved streets or stone of some sort, so it's not like sandworms are just going to be like, bah!
One would hope.
Yeah. Yeah. In which case, maybe I will bring my personal shield.
Sandworm comes out and just belly flops onto the town.
And I don't know. I'm so sorry. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. Is it Kinjal? Kinjal?
What is it?
They're large blades.
Oh, yeah. I was having trouble with that, too.
Yeah. I didn't look it up. I'm sorry.
Well, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I know. I'm a terrible player. But they are large, kind of curved blades that are very common amongst the nobility. And yeah, kind of like an old school, like a decorative sword, as it were.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's what I'll carry on me.
And everyone, don't feel bad at all about mispronouncing words during the game. Because Dune, anyone familiar with the lore in Dune, I mean, between the names, the things, like, it's difficult. It's very, they're putting you know, two different consonants together next to two vowels and then another consonant, and then like you're just like, I'm so confused.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time. My tongue hurts. But it's all
I've never
good.
seen this letter before.
Yeah, what is that letter?
I have seen it written phonetically, Kinjal.
Kinjal. Okay, awesome. Kinjal. Let's all try to remember that. I'm sure we'll forget, but Kinjal. Nice. So yeah, you've got your big elaborate blade, a little older, more decorated look to it. You have your personal shield. Cool. What is Naya dressed in for this, or heading to Carthog? What are you bringing? You're there for a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's mainly going to be black with a kind of fitted, almost leather red vest with chains similar to that heading across the breastplate, and a gold headdress that still allows her to kind of move, but it presents her as a kind of less sparkly but still official member of the house.
Nice. Yeah, and it also, I like to think too, since you guys are kind of that hidden task force, that some of the looks don't really play into assassin, spy, warrior, things like, you know, you look a little more artistic, a little more fashion oriented, a little more house versus employee, you know? Like, I kind of like that, how all of you kind of put on these fronts, but behind that, it's not all glitz and glamour, like you can throw down if you have to. I really like that. Okay, cool. What about Yuffie?
So, Yuffie will probably, she'll be wearing, when we go out, like, to the ornithopter, I can never say it right, ornithopter, and, like, when we're out on, like, the street, she'd probably be wearing, like, a long black cowl kind of like what I'm wearing now, to kind of cover her head and her hair from the sun. But when we're indoors, she would probably have, again, her long black dress. She would take off the gloves. I think the gloves she would wear outside as well to protect her skin. So I think as far as assets go, I realized that there's also a thing that Bene Gesserit have, coded dots. So we can actually send messages to each other in this like Bene Gesserit code.
It's almost like Braille. It's like these dots you leave around in places, and other Bene Gesserits can walk by, kind of brush it, and read the message. You know.
Ah, cool.
Kind of cool.
Might not be, yeah, another useful thing. As far as an asset, I think I would, bring that kind of communication along with us, and make sure that everybody is like aware of that. So I would let the sisters know we should probably make sure if anything comes up that we write to each other in code, as we might be going our separate ways for a little bit, getting some things done. So if there's any information, let the rest of us know.
And also, Tracy, I think your mic is a little bit low. I've boosted it a little, but if you can boost it up a little bit.
Yeah, let me turn the gain up.
Thanks, Muselch. I'm butchering your name. I apologize, but chat's helping out. They're letting us know. Yeah.
We only promise for an 80% accurate pronunciation.
Yeah, exactly.
Any words during.
Fuck that.
Yeah, sorry,
I purposely butcher that shit. It's funny to do. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
What are you talking about?
Perfect.
Robe? I can't. How do I mispronounce your last name? Mulligan.
There you go. I like it.
Mulligan.
I'm sorry, I think you mean Mulligan.
Mulligan, yeah, Mulligan.
Sorry, that's my bad. So silly. Anyway.
Nice. No, I love that. Cool. And Insaya?
Ains always is kind of wearing this sort of thing, but very flowy robes that are a hair more on the traditional, but still like very ornate, very like a very nice fabric. Tends to have a lot of scarves, gold on gold on gold. The robes in this instance would likely be kind of that deeper red. Lots of just, it would not look like she is somebody who would get in a little skirmish or anything like that because of all of just the, she likes textures and textiles and fabrics and puts as many on her body as possible. And then along with that, she would have the lute, and she would have just a couple little hidden knives on there under all of the fabric.
Nice.
Everything is a hidden knife in our house.
I love it. It makes sense too.
Yeah.
You just hold open the fabric, it's just like, oh, can I interest you in a knife?
You want any fabric with that knife? Lorella.
Yeah.
Kitchen, table knife. Lorella, okay, so I probably, as I'm trying to infiltrate and fit in, I guess, to those secret clubs, like the underground clubs and like the, like rich people boat clubs and stuff, like that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to infiltrate those clubs. And like the sleazy clubs and anyway.
Any kind of performing venue, right?
Like a strip club, whatever, etc., etc. Yeah, like any of those. Yeah, people that have money, essentially, right? To throw away. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna dress in a tight slip black dress, because always black, with the long sleeves, so I can hide my bodkins into there. So one there, and then I'll have like a little purse which will have my Grimscale fiber rope with like a slight hook attached to it, so I can throw it to anything and attach it to anywhere if I need to escape. And normally if she was on the streets, she'd probably wear, really against what the weather is, but like a slight turtleneck actually, and her normal scarf. Yeah, normal scarf. But for this infiltration, she wouldn't wear the scarf, so take that off so I can breathe.
Do you have I saw it in the assets thing and I was like, oh, that's so cool, but it doesn't really make sense for my character to have it. But there's like essentially a mask that's like a face changing one. I don't know if
Can I add that, please? I need that in my life.
I think you would be the most likely to have it.
Nice. Yeah, you can check that out. If you want to switch
Yeah.
your assets, I'll allow, anybody wants to adjust some of the numbers. I know we've kind of set our drive, our skills, our assets, all those things after session 1. Last chance to make final little adjustments, okay? So as we go, if there's things you want to adjust, because we're learning the game. So absolutely, shake out all the details and things to your character and make it the way you want,
Swap the mask with my Jabba cloak. 'Cause
Perfect.
I don't need that.
Nice.
I'll get rid of that. Yeah.
Love
But
it.
I also have a damper on me, so
Oh, okay.
fuck knows how I'm gonna pronounce this word. But it's Ixian.
Is it the Ixian?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a damper.
Yeah, that Ixian, it's just pronounced Ixian, like Ickx.
Nice.
But yeah, you got one of those dampers, so like you can trigger that and have a private conversation, is what that is, correct?
Yeah. So that goes into my purse. Yep, as well with
Nice.
the rope. For some reason, I have a rope, some knives, and a damper, as well as a mask. So that's fun.
Amazing.
And yeah,
So
and she's
I
gonna
think
have
it's-
like pumps on too, black pumps.
Yeah, nice.
Somehow.
Are the
I
heels
understand.
also knives? I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Yeah, in the heel. Oh my god. Yes. Okay. Hold on.
Any heel.
You're gonna
is a
need some
one-
momentum to create that now. Let's keep that
Oh,
as a
okay,
feature.
okay,
I love that
okay.
idea though.
So one,
Any-
two, third one in her cleavage. So those where all the 3 knives are. So 2 up the sleeve, 1 down the front. That's where she's hiding them, as she kind of dresses like basically a stripper, essentially, to get in these clubs to talk to these men.
Nice.
I'm not sure if it's Kybus hood, Chebus hood, Cebus hood.
Oh, Cebus, it's a C, right? Cybus.
Yeah, but I don't know if you say that as a k sound. I don't know. Kybus hood is.
Oh, the
is
hood?
asset.
Is that what it
Yeah.
is? Cybus hood?
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably Cybus hood. I could be wrong. I don't know. It's Dune. You know how it is. We'll work it out.
She'll
But
also
yeah.
have that attached somewhere, just in case she needs to suddenly get away. So like,
Yeah.
just turn into someone else. Yeah.
Absolutely. And all that sort of stuff fits in with Dune fashion. Like I said, it's a dusty planet. The sun is horrendous. People wear hoods, scarves, masks, things like that. So anything that you can think of and create, absolutely, it works. It fits in. It's also the future, the extreme far future, tens of thousands of years into this sci-fi future. So all of that works for me. That's perfect. So yeah, we got a clear understanding of what everyone's wearing, how they look, the assets they're bringing. Maria has already headed to Carthog. You can hear the ornithopter out back in the courtyard kind of running. As you make your way out, you see all the carryalls are gone. You can see in the distance, heading off into the distance as everyone has kind of went out. You see the pilot standing out front of the ornithopter smoking some type of vape apparatus as he looks up and, hey, I'm Leon, I'm your pilot. Are we ready to go?
I believe.
Yes.
Okay, let's head out.
And
He helps
Loretta
everybody.
looking visibly uncomfortable in her really tight dress right now. She's like shimmying it down her legs because it keeps riding up as she sits down, and it's like the girliest you guys have ever seen her. Like she never dresses like that. She's always in like skinny jeans and a
Nice.
leather jacket.
I would kind of lean over toward her. You know you're not going to be able to do that in the clubs, right?
I'll find some tape somewhere. I need to get this dress down, unless I'll be flashing everyone. And then she has like 50 pounds of makeup on her face too, like it's Kate.
I'm just
that
saying.
is gonna be
Maybe you may be
in the
more
sun.
persuasive. Yeah. I'm just saying you may be
Sun.
more persuasive the higher you let your dress ride.
Unless you have any knives hidden on your legs.
God, I hate men. Anyway, can we go, please? Get this over with.
Leon looks back, hey, and kind of flies
Maybe
off.
not you. We'll see how you fly.
Well, I assure you, I'm one of the good ones. Maria can vouch for me. He just laughs it off. But yeah, he takes off. The ornithopter whips up. You hear the wings kind of speed up as they just whip this dragonfly-shaped helicopter called an ornithopter. Just to reiterate for new listeners and watchers, this thing takes off from the courtyard, heading in the path as you see the other carryalls in the distance going. Leon explains, Maria kind of filled me in. You're the new force for the house, and that's great. I'm the house pilot. I'm always here for travels. So you're new to Arrakis, new to Arrakeen, Carthog, all this from what I'm told. Yeah, if you have any questions or anything, I've been here a few years now. You know, I'm new to the house, but definitely not new to Arrakis at all. Anything you need to know about Carthog or any of this stuff, just shoot. We got probably about a 30-minute ride or more to get over there.
Large is the city.
What's that?
How large is Carthage? How many people go in and out,
It's
roughly?
it's pretty large city. I mean, it's not as big as Arrakeen, but it still hosts about 2 million people, populace. So you can imagine a 2 million populous city. But you'll see as we approach, it's all prefabricated. The Harkonnens, they just got dark taste. You know, they try to be all Baroque Renaissance vibe or whatever, but everything they have there in that city is just prefabricated, 3D printed. Kind of cold, very dark city compared to Arrakeen. That kind of fits in with the atmosphere and the surroundings, the environment.
Indeed. One might think with a temperament like that, why situate your base on Arrakis? With it being so warm.
Well, I think the spice drives them here, and you know, they're just kind of setting their own tone. If they have to be here, they're making it theirs, I guess. You know.
Classic Harkonnens, bending the environment to suit them as opposed to going with the grain. But I digress.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah,
No, yeah.
at this point, I'd love to take our 5-minute bio break just to give the players a moment to not only take a 5-minute bio break, but also, you know, discuss or think about the things you might want to ask Leon about Carthog, about things, whatever. He has been on Arrakis for a few years. He's been working with the house now for a few weeks as it started. But just think about that. We'll take our 5-minute bio break. When we get back, you're back in the Ornithopter with Leon. Everybody in chat, please stick around. We're just going to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to leave the mics hot so everyone can hear the things we talk about. And if the chat wants to contribute ideas, go for it. We'll be right back.
Thank you. I'm about to piss myself.
Good timing.
Oh, I hope you're wearing a still suit so that you can save that liquid.
Right?
I love that, like, yeah, Dune, it being such like a fancy pants, you know, very like political intrigue story is like, yeah, you're converting your own piss and shit into water. I loved that about the Villeneuve film, where it's like you go in thinking it's gonna be such a dry, you know, adaptation, because it is so like political intrigue. It's dense. But like, I don't know, it had such like, all the characters had such life, and like, you know, that they weren't just like a function of the house.
Agreed. No, it was like very, you could, they were all lovable, honestly. I thought they all did so good.
I laughed out. I saw it in gold class with my friend because we were so excited to see it. And a lot of the interactions with like Duncan and Paul, there's like the bit where they reunite after Duncan's been spending so much time with the Fremen, and he's like, "Oh, you put on some muscle," and Paul's like, "Really?" And he's like,
No. Oh my god,
And
I love
like,
him as Duncan.
I laughed so loud because I'm allowed to laugh it anyway, and like no one else in the cinema laughed. I'm like, you're all pedants. Just enjoy something. My god.
The still suit designs in the new one are also just so
Oh my
cool.
god.
I want to make one, but like they look so freaking cool.
I wish I was a cosplayer who made things, but alas.
There is like a cosplayer that I follow. She made a tutorial and she made it look easy. It probably is not actually easy. It's like, this looks like I could do it. If I attempt it, it'll probably be
in all
nightmarish.
things, it's probably easy if you know
yes
like, the basic skills of how to do it, but if not, you're just like
yeah.
I don't know. My mum's a seamstress as well, so it's just like I should know how to sew, but I have never needed to because I always just depend on her. Anyway, there's a metaphor in there for something. All right, I better actually use the loo. Speaking of
I suppose I should too. BRB chat.
well, that face mask needs to go in the bin. Because I
Oh,
put it on
no.
and I was like, this has a funny smell. I think my
Oh,
dog
no.
slept on it.
Oh, jeez.
Classic Bowser.
I got
Da,
snacks.
da, da, da.
Ooh, oh, those are the
Ooh.
fancy chips.
Yeah,
You're living on a whole different income bracket, my friend.
I'm trying. Really trying.
I know. Do you know, when I told my mum I was going to be an actor, I was like, Mum, I got into acting school. It was like very exciting. And like the first thing that she said to me was, well, you better marry rich.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't mind that because it's like she wasn't like have a backup plan or like you know
Sure.
make sure like you shouldn't go into the arts, you'll be poor. She was just like, well, realistically.
I mean, if I had done, I mean, my mother is a visual artist, so I think that was okay. But
Yep.
if I had been like, yo, I'm gonna go to school for acting, I don't think she would have said anything. It would have just been silence. Just silence.
So you should have
My-
gone to
yeah.
mime school instead.
My Asian parents would not have been okay with that. I'll say that.
That's what I'm saying. My mom is the Asian one.
Oh, yeah. It's either dead silence, which is so awkward.
Yeah, I think
Like, you know she disapproves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny, because I'm first generation Australian, like my mum's Italian, and like it's all the things that come out when you become an adult, and like now that I'm established as an actor, all these things come out of the woodwork. Where my mum was like, you know, your nonno wanted to be an actor when he first came here, but you know, he couldn't. His English is okay, but like it was just more profitable to become like a builder, because the reason they came here was for better jobs and whatnot, so why squander that on acting and stuff? And I'm like, you know,
He's
so those
not
little
squandering.
I know, but like as well, you know how like Italian men are handsome, but like I mean he's still pretty, like, you know, it's the Mediterranean aging thing of like just look fairly similar, but like he was a very handsome young man. There's like a picture of him on a motorcycle, and I'm like, he could have been like really good in the movies. It'd just be like Stallone.
Mantle.
What's that?
You've taken up the mantle.
I know. I have to represent the family's artistic side. Oh gosh, I'm very excited for this, but I'm also so nervous in this game because I'm playing a character who's perhaps is a better strategist and a better thinker than I am, which is always risky.
I'm so ready to try playing the cavalry
Yeah,
flirting.
because
That's gonna be so awkward.
I mean,
If
who
by
says
awkward you mean good?
flirting is something so base as language? Just use that body language.
Every so often to the camera, she's gonna go. "Bleh."
That's how I feel in our Cyberpunk stream, because it's like I'm basically like a porn star, and so anytime I need to get something done, I'm enlisting like a fan or whatnot of my work, and so it's just like, ugh, have to be nice to these people. Terrible. I should have been a dominatrix instead.
I was gonna say, like, some people prefer it when you're not nice to them.
Oh my god. I hope this. I feel like it's okay to say Phil loves making like domineering female characters. He loves it. Like so many of his characters answer to like a domineering female. And I'm like, that's interesting. I like it.
I would love to know the psychology behind that.
Nah, I'm good.
See, when I played Cyberpunk Red, when I played the one shot, I only played a combat medic, not a. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm.
If anyone's ever seen Apex Legends, the game, Lifeline in that, I based her off of Lifeline.
Cool. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds cool.
Lifeline, great medic name.
And
Actually,
she called it
yes.
Lifeline too. Yeah, I actually called it Lifeline.
Oh, that's dope. I mean, if anyone's like good at battle strategy or anything, please feel free to help me out as a player, because
I am not.
Yeah,
I'm
I
with you.
usually,
It's
like-
hard.
I usually like playing characters who are a bit dumber than me.
I do too. I'm the same way. I always get like nervous when I play intelligent characters because I'm like,
Yeah.
man, no, I gotta be intelligent. It's
I know,
hard
it's
sometimes.
Different if I'm going from a script, because then you can say the
Yes.
stuff with confidence. You can like
Yeah.
Right.
research the things you're talking about. But when you're like live role playing it, it's like, well, I'm hardly gonna think up a better plan than me.
See, I'm playing in a campaign currently. I've been playing for almost a year and a half, essentially. And she is a queen of a kingdom, a Valkyrie, warrior as well, like a general, essentially, of her army. And I have to literally run a whole combat of like my people, everything, that kind of thing. And I'm like level 12 from 5e. So I have like extra attack, like
Yeah.
everything else. I have action surge. It's like insane, the stack. Yeah.
Love a combat character.
Mhm.
So this
Just 5 levels in Bard though. 5 levels in Bard, 5 fighter, 2 paladin.
Wow. Triple class.
Yeah.
I can't find my.
Hey, when you're a queen, you have to have everything down pat.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. Unless we're going from like old school medieval things of like, you don't do fuck all as any royalty.
I know, my kingdom is run by women.
Nice.
So all the warriors are women. Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about a matriarchal society,
Ready to, you
and
guys
I think it's good.
ready to go back?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Ready?
Anyone,
dog
anyone
is
want to
just
do
about-
the traditional put some food in your mouth right before I bring us back, or
I mean,
good?
it's 6 a.m. I'm not really that hungry.
Oh, yeah. All right, cool. Let's do it. We're back. We're officially back. Everyone can see us and hear us now. Oh, Jess, did you come through with the food in the mouth? I didn't even know you were hooking it up. That's awesome. Hell yeah. We're keeping the tradition alive. On
Every time, Rob. It's the second session now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
now
do
it's
that.
a tradition.
It seems like it happens on most of my streams, most of my teams. There's always like one player when I come back from break. I always catch them by accident. So now I'm kind of trying to make it a thing, I guess. I don't know.
Usually Rocket.
We'll see. Yeah, it's usually Rockhead on the Thursday Cyberpunk Sirenscape stream we do.
It's a method. I mean, Hades would
Oh,
have
yeah.
something in her mouth, so.
Exactly. She comes with the muffins. All right, cool. You guys are in the Ornithopter. You all are on the way to Carthage. It's going to be about 30 minutes or so of a flight. You've got Leon, who's friendly pilot, part of the house. I mean, again, he's been here for years. Any questions that he can answer, he'll try to answer. He's here to help. But you're on your way. It's up to you. If you have questions, you can engage in conversation. Otherwise, we can streamline you to Carthage.
Might be beneficial to ask where some of these
Popular
locations
places are.
Yes.
Yes. But are usually more of the upper echelon of Carthage hang out. What are their usual places? Clubs, things like that.
Yeah, there's clubs, restaurants. There's a big marketplace and bazaar. There's a couple different residency districts. There's a few. I mean, the Baron holds down a whole section of the city, obviously, his whole compound. But there's a place called the Waterfall District. It's kind of like the upper class residency. I don't know that you all will be able to get in there without residence passes and things. It's pretty guarded. Also, I mean, throughout the whole city, it's fairly guarded. There's Harkonnen guards always patrolling, things like that, and then individual private guards for different establishments and districts sometimes. But yeah, there's the regular residency district. You can kind of cut through there. Other than the market and bazaar, there's the the industrial zone, but that's a lot of manufacturing and, as you can imagine, industrial sort of structures and buildings and work. There's the spaceport. There's the spice storage yard. And then beyond that, kind of south of the regular residential district, is the slums. I would suggest ladies avoid the slums unless you're prepared for maybe possible confrontations. But it's a good spot to get some of the seedier things in life.
We're always prepared for confrontations.
Good. I've been told. Maria kind of filled me in, so I'm sure you can handle your own.
Leon,
Yeah.
have you heard any whispers about conflicts between certain houses?
I mean,
That was for me. Or Leon.
Leon. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought I heard an I, and I'm like, I don't
no,
know.
I mean, there's constant talk of, house conflicts and things, and declarations of Canley, and just outright, forms of disrespect, things like that. But no, I haven't really heard any sort of whispers or rumors or anything.
Any houses particularly hot-headed?
Most of them. Yeah, most of them. I don't know. None in particular stand out to me. I would just say, what I told Maria when we first started this relationship is, be careful, always watch your back. Most houses are a bit cutthroat. Everyone's trying to kind of position themselves in the best possible way here. And with spice and water being the driving force, it can get very competitive. And then you've got the Harkonnens just with their brutal rule. People are desperate, especially in Carthage. Keep that in mind as well. The people just aren't as social as Arrakeen. You can imagine you're in the manufactured city by the Harkonnens themselves, and they're your neighbors. You're dealing with that all the time. So it's that type of vibe, I guess you could say.
Thankfully, we as a house mainly offer entertainment and luxury beverages. So initially, we're not presenting anything that will step on toes.
That's good. Yeah, I definitely want to keep on the good side of most of the houses, especially major grade above your minor house. Like I told Maria, things can get dangerous pretty quick. But yeah, it sounds like you're positioned in a way that you shouldn't be stepping on toes. Hopefully you won't be offensive to the Harkonnens or anybody, and just do what you have to do.
Right, so we've got the locations of gathering places, and is there? May you point out, Leon, any places that draw the eye? Perhaps where we can advertise.
Sure, yeah. I'd hit up the big bazaar market. You'll see the city kind of centers around the Colosseum, but the market's just south of there. Yeah, I would start with the marketplace and bazaar. It's kind of a good central location, but the residential districts do have their own sort of nightclubs, restaurants, some pretty nice places where you absolutely can get some attention. There's one club in particular called Spice that, it's upper class, but they deal in some seedier things. That's a good place to go as well. Yeah, Lorel.
GM, do we know how much each ticket's going to cost?
For what, the Coliseum?
The show. And the show and also the after party.
Yeah, after party is free for those that want to attend. It's pretty much handled in the backstage lot of the Coliseum. But yeah, tickets are just 20 Sataris. And again, just for the sake of chat watching and players and everyone, just like HP, damage, money isn't really discussed in Dune 2D20. This is very roleplay heavy, very mind's eye. So they don't really discuss the actual costs of Sataris and what things are and stuff. So we'll just kind of implement real life equivalents in numbers, I guess. So we can just say 20 Sataris a ticket to get in. $100 a ticket if you want to be in the VIP booths or balconies, depending on how close you are. Some of them actually detach from the Coliseum and hover on suspensors, and the people can control it, get closer to the stage when they want to see things. And But they're going to be doing the fight all day. The Colosseum hosts gladiator battles almost daily by Harkonnen request. It's kind of the big form of entertainment there. So every day I know they're going to be having their gladiator battles, and then I guess you guys are considered the halftime show or whatever. You guys perform at the end of every event daily. I guess Maria said you guys are doing it for the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this just a scouting party, or do we have any of the performers in tow to kind of do that flash mob kind of suggestion?
No, the
Or
whole
is it
house is
just
there.
us?
All the performers are already there. Maria's there.
Great. Yep.
Trainers, everything's there. Your premiere is tomorrow night, so they're there setting up, ready to
Fantastic.
go. Yeah.
Cool. Because I would like to use that as a way to kind of observe people and also drum up interest and market the show.
Nice.
Great.
Yeah, that should be possible. Just talk to Maria. I'm sure she'll be more than willing to help you guys on your path. But yeah, we're approaching now. We'll be landing soon. You can see Carthog up ahead, and as you look, you can see same type of environment and weather. It's a very dusty, windy day here on Arrakis, but you can see that Carthog is as described, very manufactured, 3D printed, very dark compared to Arrakeen. Doesn't really sit in with the colors, style, and vibes of the environment around it. It's kind of up on its own pedestal in a sense, like whereas Arrakeen realized, "Doggy, what's up, Bowser?"
Yes, sorry.
It's fine. We'll say he's representing Leon. He's playing Leon right now. Getting a little close with Anaya though, but it's okay.
Senor Ferdinand.
Yes. Don't twist his head off though.
Oh, no. But no, as you approach, you can see this city, whereas Arrakeen kind of has like that big rock wall around it, aside from defenses and things that kind of keep the sandworms out and natural things. Carthog's kind of up on its own pedestal to begin with. Like it's up on its own sort of platform rock ledge of a mountaintop that's kind of plateaued. So it's very, very difficult to approach on foot. It rarely happens. Everything enters Carthog through ornithopter or other, typically. And that's how the city protects itself from sandworms, Fremen attacks, anything that might happen. But as you're approaching, you see exactly that, this huge city. Think about, 2 million populace-sized city spread out on top of this sort of plateaued rock. And it's very dark, very 3D printed, very angular. As you approach, you can see that the city is structured as Leon described. As you go, you can see kind of what would appear as like the industrial yard and the spaceport and spice yard. In its own section, very industrial-like and manufactured. And then it kind of spreads up into what you see as the residential area, where then it kind of rises up on one of the ledges plateaued, the waterfall residential area where they're kind of like looking down on the rest of the city, To the side of that, just above the industrial zone, you can see what he described as the slums. As you get closer, you can see, Carthog is already kind of dirty, 3D printed and dilapidated in that sense that it's not... artistically or architecturally, has history to it and taken care of in that sense. So some things are dilapidated. You might see, rubble here and there, some refuse piles, things. It's not the most efficient of cities, but it's very district oriented. You go to Waterfall, you go to the Baron's residence and things like that. It's much nicer. So the whole city is kind of like that, but you can definitely tell the slums times 10 when you see that section. It's darker. There's some smoldering smoke things, rubbles, and just it's much more as you would assume slums to be. But as you go, you also see the random citadels poking up through the city, kind of showcasing different houses. You can see the different emblems and symbolism on them, the structures that do stand out amongst the typical. Aside from that, you see the Baron's residence, which stands out amongst everything. You see the big red banners, their logo. It pretty much shadows the entire city as it sits up above and is kind of his perch to look down upon the city. But that's what you're seeing for the most part as you approach Baron's residency. In front of that, you also see the city guard complex, like right in front of the Baron residency before it gets to where the Colosseum is, kind of in between the Colosseum and Baron's residency, is that city guard complex where it's training grounds. You can see a big courtyard. There's even a big prison in there. It's a big deal there, but that's kind of their central location for city guard, which patrols the city, as we said, also referred to as Harkonnen guard. But yeah, you see the merchant district next to the Colosseum, as he described, a kind of open bazaar. As you get closer, you can see people and things going on there. You can see down into the Colosseum. As the top, you see as it's closing, a sort of lidded hood, probably to block the sun and things as people are setting up and preparing for the day's events. You see the waterfall district, like I said, the residential off to the side there, going down into those industrial spice storage and the slums. But that's what you see as you're approaching. The pilot starts taking you down onto the rooftop of a building that's actually next to the Colosseum. And he explains, yeah, I'm going to be taking you down here. This is Hotel Zanbar. Hotel Zanbar is where you're put up for the next 2 weeks. The Harkonnens have already arranged that through Maria. So yeah, this is where you'll be staying. He lands on the top, helps you get your bags out. Says, all right, I'll be back in a couple weeks to pick you ladies up. Your reservation should be under, we'll say, Yuffie's name, since she's kind of the consort of the team or the communicator. But yeah, Maria said the reservation will be under Yuffie's name. Once you get settled in, you can head over to the arena next door and meet up with Maria and the rest of the team. It's nice meeting all of you.
Well, thank you so much for the
Thank you,
wonderful
Leon.
ride.
Of course.
Much appreciated.
Ornithopter flies off. As you guys are able to enter the Xanabar. This Xanabar is basically a big hotel with attached restaurant and bar. It's kind of an all come and serve for visitors, guests, and people of the like. As you enter, one thing that you notice is this place is actually well kept. It's very clean compared to surrounding buildings where you might see some refuse, debris. Like I said, how the city is kind of manufactured and kind of loses sight of some of the nicer artistic dressings and things. This building is not like that. When you enter, it actually has nice paintings and decorations. It seems well kept. When you make your way down to what is kind of the check-in and lobby, yeah, you're basically greeted. Hold on one second, I got to bring up my notes. Yeah, you're greeted by an older man. He has a beard, some dark hair. He has a younger female next to him, kind of standing behind her. She looks like she can't be any more than her high teens, maybe. Probably not even out of the 19 range, still in those teens. But she's standing behind him, and he greets himself. Hello, I'm Yassir. I'm the owner of Xanabar. Welcome. You have a reservation?
Hello.
Hello, thank
Yes. We should be checking in under House Satara. It should be under my name. Euphemia or Yuffie?
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm familiar. Satari's been checking in all day. Yeah, I have you right here. Okay, I see 4 of you. Yeah, this was covered. 1 room, 2 beds. I see there's 4 of you. I hope you all are okay, rooming together.
We're fine.
Excuse me?
Would you please just show us to the room?
Okay, no problem. And he pulls out these sort of, I don't know, like Ixian tech that you're very familiar with. You've seen it in your house. You see it in a lot of private residencies as well as locations like shops and things that might require it, like private clubs and things. But this hotel has these. And it's basically like this wristband that you put on. It's a bit of Ixian text that allows you to enter your room door and the hotel main entrances. I'm kind of giving you proof of staying here. But he takes you to the room. It's up on the 3rd floor. Small room, 2 beds, queen size. Obviously, you're going to have to be bunking together. Again, he enters in bringing in the luggage, and it's a small room, very humble. But he looks around and apologizes again. I'm sorry, I'm booked up for the night. Otherwise, I would try to get you guys a second room, but this is what was booked. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Well, we'll make do. We appreciate your concern.
As soon as I enter, I'm going to ignore him completely. And as soon as I've taken 1 step into the room, I'm going to walk straight towards the bed closest to the door. I'm feeling like protectorate mode as well. And I'm going to sit to the bed, and on that side, in that corner by the wall, I'm going to put Senor Ferdinand.
Well, it's wonderful to see that they splurged on us.
I mean, we are merely representing the house. We are not royalty ourselves. And perhaps it's best to go move about less conspicuously.
It's true.
Well,
Well, if there's anything that you
We
need,
don't-
just right here, you can trigger for call, and myself or my daughter will be up in just a minute. Her name is Aisa. Maybe you saw her in the lobby, but if there's anything at all, just call us anytime. And he leaves.
absolutely. I thought you were already gone.
Sorry.
Just
I'm
turn
gonna
around.
turn
Oh, you're still here. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna turn to the other three and I'm gonna say, warning, I do kick and punch in my sleep.
Thankfully,
So
I don't
who's-
think I will be doing much sleeping.
Well, I plan to sleep on this bed closest by the door.
Good luck, my friend.
Fair.
Is that where you're sleeping?
Do you not
you
see
might-
Senor Ferdinand?
Oh, so you did bring Senor Ferdinand. I've changed my mind. I'll be sleeping here by the wall. And she goes and just starts like arranging some stuff. Or they're laying out some robes and fabrics, and things are just starting to accumulate in the room.
No, I'm quite offended.
Well, Sister Anaya, despite you not sleeping, you are the eldest, so you can pick where you would like to sleep if you'd like to sleep with the cavalry.
I
Or
think
Insaya?
to protect any relations in the room and the mounting tension, I might sleep in this one, pointing to the bed that the casualty is sleeping in.
My name is just evolving this whole session.
The casualty.
The cavalry.
Well, you're gonna become the casualty
Well,
whenever
that's
this
it, yeah.
punching starts.
Yeah, the Freudian slip there.
I know.
Yeah.
that's
Or
right,
I have
it's-
another idea. I have another idea. Maybe you three share a bed and I'll be fine here with Senor Ferdinand.
If I need to take shifts, then so be it. But I think best for us to be closest to the door in case anything untoward happens.
Great.
Yes, I
Is
think
there a
that's
window?
a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Is there a window, Jim?
Absolutely, yeah. It
So
overlooks, and you
is
can
it
actually
by
see
the other bed?
arena. Yeah, it's on the other side of the room.
Okay, I'm gonna drill like a very small hole in the corner of that glass, like a minuscule, just in case it's easier to smash this window or break it. Just like a slight hole.
Nice. How are you going to do that? Do you have some type of asset or way to help you?
I am grabbing my good old bodkin and just scraping at it in a circle. I'm just gonna go like, like not quite scraping, but I'm like rotating it into
Just-
like, you know what I mean?
I can hear it right now.
Yeah. Give me. Give me. Let's go with battle skill.
Okay.
You tell me what drive would kind of assist you in that. And this is going to be a difficulty of 2.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna use duty just as like again protecting our team and everything, and like trying to stay aware.
I imagine just.
Oh
The
no.
whole window shatters. Oh, I'm scared. I'm so scared.
Nice, and you
That's
generate.
okay.
Yeah, and you generated a point of momentum. So somebody tracked that. You've got 3 successes.
Nice.
Yeah, scratching it. There was a moment where you heard a little cracking noise, and it almost was about to shatter, but you were able to do it. You carved enough in there, like you said, to give you that little leeway. You can easily break it out now. Hey, thanks, Bronx Smash. -2 rewarded to players. Keep that in mind. But yeah,
Thank
you've
you.
got your little hole carved in, kind of weakening the window, giving you that access.
Inside is going as soon as that's done, and the casualty walks away. Inside is going to take like a little piece of fabric and kind of like, not really stuff it, but like make it to where we don't get any unexpected tiny visitors.
Smart.
Stuffing the hole.
Yep.
As one does.
Hey, hunter seekers are very small. That's probably smart.
This is true.
Hey, Zaya's not gonna have anything spying on her while she's sleeping. Not today, peepers, not today.
So, do we want to head to the Coliseum to see how things are, or do we want to get straight to work, starting to advertise for it?
Well, I'd like
could
to see
have
at
me
least.
fine.
We could probably split forces. I'd like to at least see what sort of talent we're working with.
Of course. I am going to.
Sister Anaya, you're very quiet.
Muted. Even.
So incredibly quiet.
It's my assassin training. It's just because Bowser has been barking in the background, so I need to keep muting myself. Yeah, now he's woken up. We've woken the beast.
There's dogs in Dune, right? It's just one running around the city. That's all. You hear it in the distance, maybe. I don't know. We'll make up our mind.
I was just
Through that little hole in the window.
Exactly.
It's the same dog.
But yeah, and just
oh yes, I was saying I would like to attend to see the talent that we are working with and to make sure that they are rigorously disciplined before we hit the town.
Yeah, and Leon did mention, once you check in, Maria said to check in with her at the arena next door, that everyone's already over there setting up. So yeah, absolutely, you should settle in.
It's just next door.
Exactly. You pick your beds. Lorella was able to carve that hole in the window. She's got the teddy bear blade set up in the corner. Yeah, unless there's anything else you need to do in the hotel room, we can head to the arena.
I'm gonna.
Yes,
is there a
let's leave
vent?
this place.
Is there a vent in the hotel room?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna quickly. Where is it? Exactly.
We'll say right in the center of the ceiling.
I'm gonna try and make my way up there. Is there like screw? Are there screws in this vent?
Yeah, something similar. Yeah.
Okay, multi-purpose bodkins. Right. I'm gonna try and pry these screws out to open up the grate, and then peek in there just to see that there's no cameras or anything. I don't trust anyone. I'm just checking that there's no secret cameras or anything.
Yeah. Let's go with. This is going to be a difficulty 0. Absolutely easy for you. Just a chance to generate some momentum for these next scenes. Yeah, let's go. I'll take either move or
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to just use move, I think. I think this is more of like a physical thing. You're checking it, but you're just looking. So let's just do move that you can get this open and check it out. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do with duty as well, right? If that's okay.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
Or truth. Either one.
Either one of those makes sense to me, because truth makes sense that you're like checking it to cover all your bases, but duty is also kind of like, again, covering all your bases, dotting all your I's. So either one of those makes sense to me by her doing this. Yeah.
I'm gonna use truth just because it's a better stat.
Yeah, and which statement? Also, if your drive statement, always be led by that. So whatever drive statement makes the most sense to what you're doing, go with that. Yeah.
Respect for the truth comes close to being. Hold on, where is it? I need to scroll. The basis for all morality. So I'm respecting our truth in our mission, but not person spying. In regards to morality.
Yeah, I like that. And it's also revealing the truth of confirming that you guys are in a private room, So you're like...
Indeed. That is 2 successes, correct.
Nice. Perfect. So yeah, you check it out. There are no listening devices, no recording devices, nothing like that. You don't see any Shiga wires, any crazy things or data devices. And yeah, you're able to generate a couple points of momentum too by checking that out.
That's 3 in total.
Nice.
From my paranoia.
Well, nice. You've
I mean,
got
hey,
that.
keep it up.
And
She's a spy. Like, that's what she does.
Exactly. No, and that's great. That's definitely a great way to play Lorella. It makes perfect sense. That's exactly what she would do. But yeah, you get that situated, get your room taken care of, head down out through the lobby. You can see Yasir, his daughter Aisa, just kind of posted up. They both just wave to you, nodding. As you approach the front door, it just automatically opens. You can see with those Ixion bracelets, they just kind of work that way. A lot of places work in a similar way. But yeah, you're out in the street, dusty, windy, hot as hell. People are coming and going. There are... oops, sorry. Just froze on me. All right. But yeah, you're basically looking at the arena. You're off to the side of it, but you see the back entrance, which is this huge opening where you can see all your shipping containers lined up as the last of the carry-alls fly away. You can see some of the workers, some of the performers coming in and out of the back huge lofted entrance of this Coliseum, just bringing in equipment. They have different suspensors and lifts and things kind of, raising up these crates and bringing them in. You can see it's a lot of stage equipment. You can see like glow cubes and different like size suspensors with attached lights and effects and things. Like they're just kind of setting up what they're going to do for the stage. However, this opens up into a big backstage area. You can see this big backstage area as you're approaching has people running all around, setting up the equipment. You can see Maria off to the side talking with her assistant, just kind of pointing things out as they're setting things up. You can see on the opposite wall of this big back kind of open area of the Coliseum where there's like a big red door that opens up to the Coliseum. Right now it's currently open, and you can see it opens up into a big dirt floor. This Coliseum is kind of triangular. You see all the stands and then the private booths and things that are all up above. You can even see right above on the center a big private booth with the red banners, kind of the Baron's Harkonnen family booth, you know. But aside from the dirt floor, you can see that there is a stage right inside the door off to the side, and it's just a lift, and it looks like at one point, like probably when it's time to perform, it raises and kind of goes to the center because it is on lifts. But it's off to the side, and people are kind of setting up what they're doing on stage. They're bringing things to the stage. You can see they're just kind of doing preliminary pre-production, right? They're just setting everything up, practicing, discussing things, getting ready for tonight's premiere.
I would like a... Who's running this? There must be some sort of director.
Maria's running it right now.
Maria would be the director. Okay. I might kind of sidle up to her and say, I need to see the best performers. Are you able to run some sort of scene? That way we can advertise the show through the streets, giving you some time to get the sets bumped in. I don't know if that's a very...
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea. Yeah, do your own like little flash mob thing in the city. Try to bring up some attention for the premiere. I love it. All the performers are in the training room. It's kind of our backstage room right now. I mean, as you know, this Coliseum made for gladiator battles, which they're still carrying on, mind you. They're still going to be doing gladiator battles every night. You guys are the ending show each night for the next 2 weeks. But they've turned in one of the gladiator sort of holding and training rooms into a sort of backstage room. But she directs you to there off to the side. There's that door. You also see, a couple other lift doors and things. Obviously, there's quite a bit to this Coliseum. But she points to that one. That's kind of our backstage. All the actors and performers, everyone's in there. Everyone's available. I don't need anyone until tonight. We've already been rehearsing for the past weeks since we got here. Take whoever you need. Everyone's willing to help.
In which case, I might go to this backstage area.
Oh, and Sai is joining.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I imagine I would need your help to kind of like help pick the most artistically talented ones.
We can say you all are together as a group, unless told otherwise. I'm going to assume you all are together. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Performers, pick your most taxing and exciting choreography, and I want you to run it from the top. Those selected will accompany us throughout the town to advertise for the show.
You see them kind of like talking to each other, some whispers, some chatter. And you can see like some of them initially are kind of talking. I think those are the girls. Maria said they're kind of our task house team or something. Like, yeah, Maria, and you hear them like kind of talking. Yeah, Maria said just help them in any way. Anytime that these girls need help. Yeah, okay. And then they kind of like they were just initially discussing who you are. And then a couple of them kind of stand up like, yeah, we can, all of us are ready. We can kind of go through our climaxed scenes and our kind of precipice points of the play and take our most exciting moments if you want. We can kind of showcase some of these. And she kind of like claps and calls out a couple names, and you see some of the performers come out and they're doing like an elaborate sort of battle scene where they're pretending like the Harkonnens battling Fremen and being successful. And then she kind of shows some other, like it seems like mostly it's like the battle scenes are the most acrobatic, people flipping around, fake fighting. It gets the most attention.
Yeah. And then I think Sister and Sire and I will kind of talk amongst ourselves and select, segment, like it should begin from here. This will be too hard to do throughout the streets, and maybe hand select some of the better performers.
Can I, while they're... Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just as a question to our beloved GM, how good are they?
Oh, good. You can tell this is their primary. What is it? Primary sort. I'm losing the word. You have your primary, secondary, your playwrights, your coffee. What's the word? It just left my brain. Your primary.
Focus?
No, it's the house.
Or,
Primary asset.
Export.
What is?
Trade.
You get it. You know what I'm saying.
Right.
The word has left me.
Right,
I don't know
yeah.
why my brain just completely forgot that word. But yeah, absolutely. This is what your house does.
Domain.
Domain.
yeah.
Thank you. The performers are killing it. I mean, this is the top of the top.
And while they're performing the fake fight scene, can the cavalry jump in?
Sure. Yeah.
Actually starts fighting them like.
Pulls
Oh my
out
God, a
her
fight.
blades.
She's confused.
I'm gonna
She doesn't
fisticuffs it.
understand. She doesn't understand playwrights. She's like, I don't understand why you guys are fighting like this. This isn't how you fight. She starts really fighting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm actually gonna stand there and teach him how to properly fight.
Nice.
And just see how they react to like the improvisation of somebody coming in and just suddenly
Well, and-
starting to fight.
Plus,
That'll help us pick.
Whoever stays behind, because they're not quite as up to snuff, can get a little extra tutelage.
Nice. Yeah, and Lorella, why don't you give me a skill check just to see? This is just going to be a difficulty of 1, but obviously the fail is going to be, you clumsily trying to
punched him.
join. Yeah, if there's a complication, absolutely, you're going to accidentally hurt somebody. But let's just see if you can at least pull it off. Jump in and kind of engage in the fun and look like part of it. I'll take move or discipline kind of works. Battle also works for what it is. Battle or move make the most sense to me for what's happening.
Okay. I'm gonna do move.
if it was Curry,
then-
I would go with move. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna out of the drives, which one should I use? It'll be I'll probably duty again, right? Or truth, the truth of actually fighting properly.
Well, it depends on
I
your
guess,
approach,
yeah.
the purpose of your approach. Are you doing this to try to up their performance game, maybe show them how things should look in fight to up their performance game? Or are you doing this to fit in to be part of the performance when it goes to kind of learn the things? Or what's the purpose of this? That'll help us figure out the drive.
Let me teach him. She has an ego, let's be honest,
Okay.
right? Lorella has an ego about her.
Oh yeah, then do truth.
So
I like that.
Okay.
Duty kind of works too, but that's more house. I think this is more personal. I think like truth, like absolutely flexing your skills, trying to show them, no, this is how that would really look,
Okay, there we go. Two successes, another crit.
Nice, yeah, and you're doing awesome with the crits. Lorella has some great luck with the dice.
Yeah.
Awesome, yeah, and you just that generates a point of momentum. I think said the difficulty was just a 1. So yeah, you're able to hop in, do some of the moves. They look a little confused at first, like someone's joining in, but then you start doing it, and you're actually not fucking it up. You're fitting in. You're actually showing them a couple things, and they actually like laugh, and they're like having fun with it, and like kind of dancing back with you, and like engaging in it. And you can tell they're kind of learning. And a couple of them say, "Oh, I like that. Yeah, let's maybe do our kicks like that and swing around like that. That looks way more brutal and realistic." And like they're really,
Yes.
it's working. It's working.
The Harkonnens are not going to be impressed by balletic displays of athleticism. They are a warmongering people, and
More
we need
brutes.
to depict that in our art.
That makes
Indeed.
sense. No, thank you. This looks so much better. That really looked like he got hit. That's great.
He's holding his face.
He's really spurting blood
Did
from his
he?
nose.
I got too into it, I'm sorry.
No,
I was
luckily,
too into it.
luckily, no complications though. That could have happened.
He loved
Yeah.
it. He thought it was great.
You lose a performer.
The adrenaline.
He goes, "Hit me again."
No, it went great, and I'm going to say, when the time does come, because I am going to do some type of general performance check. When the time comes, and there can be supporting stuff, like when somebody does a check, teammates can do a support with a 1 die roll to give that difficulty decrease. You just got a difficulty decrease just by that. You just hooked up the skill. You had a successful roll. You kind of upped their performance. So right there, I'm going to remove a difficulty when that time comes. So it's going to be that much easier to impress the Harkonnens with the play. So great thinking. Great job.
Well, then the ones who are selected will come with us. Oh, sorry. Do you have something to say?
I was going to say, after the selection and we, look at all the actors, Yuffie wants to go over to kind of more the art section of it, and see if we have any like posters or anything that have been made for this play.
Oh yeah. There's
They've already started on that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of promo materials. Thinking back, I forgot to mention, but boom, like you just remembered seeing them on your way in. There's like art posters kind of put up for the event talking about the next 2 weeks. This Harkonnen appreciation playwright by House Atari is coming to the Coliseum, performed every night for the next 2 weeks after the gladiator battles. That sort of information poster. There's also little mini flyers as well.
Yes, perfect. I think we'd like to get at least 5,000 of these printed, probably more, to distribute since this is a very big city. If we could get these printed out, and I will help with the distribution throughout the marketplace and bazaar, that would be great.
Yeah, Maria has no problem. She sends her assistant right away. And just to streamline, assistant gets it done. You got a huge stack of flyers and posters, any promotion materials that you need.
Perfect, thank you.
Shall we split these among us?
Yes, I think we should, and perhaps while the performers are going, we can hand these out to people, hand them out around the town and city. I think that would be good. So yes, let's distribute these.
125 each is sufficient.
Maria chimes in and, I love that idea. Thanks so much for being proactive with this. I am wrapped up in pre-production right now. Some of the equipment isn't working. I don't know what happened. I'm going to deal with this. If you ladies can handle the promos, the networking, anything you need to do, I know you're on your own mission as well for the Reverend. Do what you have to do. Just make sure you're back here by tonight before our premiere. Good luck, ladies.
Wait, did we say 5,000 or 500?
5,000.
Oh, 1,250 each. There you go.
I mean, we can take some personally, and then the rest can be kind of flyed by some crew.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Maria can arrange that as well. You kind of know the districts in Carthog. Let's keep that in mind too. Let's break this down into zones, since Dune 2D20 is very zone oriented. Let's do a little planning in this sort of crunch equivalent, right? So there's zones here. You've got the Baron's residency. You've got the City Guard complex in front of that. You have the big Coliseum and surrounding Coliseum, which is basically hotels and stuff like that. Then you have the Merchant District, the Waterfall District, Residential District, and slums with the Industrial Zone, Spaceport, and Spice Storage Yard. So those are your zones. I know you as a team want to go to a particular zone, put on the flash mob performance, kind of gather people, invite people, see what you can do for the after party or whatever. But absolutely, you have assistants, workers, general workers of the house. Maria can put in charge of flyer distribution in general. If you want to plan some, house maneuvers or whatever, just let me know.
Sorry, could you go through the sections again?
Yeah, no problem.
I only wrote half of them down.
Yeah, Baron's residency, City Guard complex, Merchant District, Waterfall District, Residential District, Industrial Zones, Spaceport, Spice Storage Yard, Slums.
Okay.
I have a question. Which sector is Club Spice in?
Club Spice is kind of in between the residential areas. It's kind of in between the Waterfall district and the normal residential district before you get to the merchant quarter. It's kind of placed in that way where it's like upper class, kind of seedier upper class things, but not fully in the Waterfall district because they want it to be accessible to people that want to attend that maybe aren't as high up as the Waterfall district. That's the idea.
Are there any more like like speakeasies or anything along that road as well, or just that club?
That's the main club in that area. If you go further into the marketplace, aside from shops, markets, and things like that, there is a club called the Tangler. And then there's a restaurant, sort of nightclub called Jupiter as well.
I'm going clubbing, guys. See you in a bit.
Lorella just runs off.
Remember what I said about your skirt?
Yeah. Yeah. Has anyone got any tape? She's gonna yell. Has anyone got any tape?
There would be so much tape. It's a it's
almost,
a theatrical production.
Exactly. Almost every single crew member lifts up a different color of roll of gaffer's tape. They're like,
Yeah,
If she sees
gaffer
purple,
everywhere.
she's taking purple, and it's gonna be like literally around like there. So lower that there's nothing on show, but high enough that it's club worthy.
yeah. Get attention without being a slut, you know?
Yeah.
Don't go
Yeah.
full hooker.
You're
but
not
make
gonna be
it
full hoe.
sexy,
Go full.
classy.
Leave the you gotta leave the full slut for later.
Exactly. There's levels to this. You know?
Yeah, layers. Come on,
Layers.
come on, people.
But absolutely, yeah.
It's like
that's
an onion.
That's what you have access to for the most part. You know, there's a couple of these clubs. You know, the assistants, the performers. They've kind of explained it to you, because you know they've been here a little bit longer than you, so you have that as well. But yeah, the performers
I
are gathered
assume-
around. They're waiting for your lead. They don't know what to do. Plus, you have the other workers willing to go out and distribute flyers and stuff if you need it. So whatever you guys want to plan or talk about, go for it.
I mean, I would think we would need the most distribution in the merchant,
Yes.
residential, guard areas.
Mm-hmm.
I
Maybe the
wouldn't-
waterfall question.
Oh
mark?
yes, and
Or-
the waterfall.
Yeah. So we
I
can
don't
have them
think we can-
distribute there.
If we can enter.
Yeah.
Yes. We might need some specific way of getting in there. I don't know if that might be
Is
a
it-
job for you, Lorella.
Is there a way you can forge these residence passes?
There is a way, but it's outside of your, you know, tech knowledge and stuff. This is all Ixian tech. It's pretty advanced. It's pretty not the easiest thing to duplicate. Yeah.
Few of our crew have residents there. Maybe they could be responsible for the distribution.
Yes.
All of this crew pretty much lives in Arrakeen, for the most part. But absolutely, you know, you can grab a handful of them while you guys set off on your plan. If there's, you know, specific places, districts and things you want to do, you can grab like a handful of the performers to grab some flyers and at least hit other districts that you don't plan on hitting and try to do some flyer distribution. Just let me know.
Because I think that's probably our strongest plan. If we have specific teams of crew,
He doesn't like that plan at all.
I know. He can suck it. Basically, yeah, if we have them handle those areas, not bothering with the spice or the spaceport, potentially some distribution within the slums, but like obviously not much, where this is a classy event, and we would need, you know, there would be general admission or like the cheap seats, but that's not where we're targeting. So yeah, if we give the lion's share of flyer distribution to the crew.
Well, and I also imagine the cost being a factor
Yes.
as well.
Yeah. I mean, it might be a luxury item for people in the slums, so I don't want to like
Sure.
miss it out completely because, you know, the more populated our event, the better it looks. Not only that, we're carrying favor amongst kind of all levels of society amongst Arrakis.
And this is in these gladiator games and fights and things that happen, you know, almost nightly and often. They are attended by just about everyone from waterfall down to slums. You know, cheap seats up to the balconies. This is the big form of entertainment in Carthage. It's a thing. So, yeah, it's not far fetched that, you know, you're not going to offend people in slums that can't afford it, because a lot of them want to go and do go. You know, yeah.
Yeah, it's all bred in circuses, right? Like they need to throw the
Exactly.
common people a bone, otherwise they're going to have mass revolts. And then I would like to kind of follow the performers through the. I think the merchant area is probably our best bet. That's where most people will be kind of like gathering throughout their day. So I think that's where they should perform, and I think I would like to stay there mainly with them to use them as an eye, see how people are observing that, see if there's any kind of interesting reactions to our house being present there. I think that's my plan. If anyone has any.
Yeah, what's everybody else think?
Your mouth.
Yeah, I think Inside will be kind of in the vicinity of that, but as opposed to watching the performance, she's going to be kind of watching the periphery of people who are paying attention, trying to glean what she can about these people specifically. Just keeping in mind is this the type of person who would go to some sort of secret auction? Does this look like a secret auctioneer?
What about Yuffie and Lorella?
Yeah, so I think I would probably join you two as well in the merchant district. Kind of similar. I will also kind of keep my eyes about me, see if there's anybody, kind of be more handing out these flyers, informing people about it, like maybe more if people have questions, I will be more of the speaker and answer to them. And yeah, just start getting more people informed. So I'll join them.
Maybe at a certain point I will split and maybe rejoin with Lorella, so that we've got kind of like our more tactical people heading towards the more slummy. Oh my gosh!
I don't like the plan at all.
Yeah, he really,
He doesn't.
I think it's getting closer and closer to his breakfast time,
Oh.
so he's making it known. So that maybe, if Insaya, Yuffie, and Anaya are together, and then at some point Anaya will split and try and rejoin with Lorella in case they need to kind of infiltrate more slummy areas.
Lorella will probably hit all three of those kind of clubs, and go to the VIP booths and try to coax her way into those booths, either with her cigar packs or her persuasion, any way to get into there to talk to the people in the VIP booths. Because if they're in the clubs, they might be a bit sleazy, and maybe they'd be down to make a deal with the auction. So if I can get to these people, talk to them, invite them to the after party and the show, then that'll be her plan. So she'll be going to Club Spice first, as it's the most popular. Then go to, what's the second
the
one?
Tangler and Jupiter.
Yeah, Tangler, and then Jupiter. Yeah, those. I'm gonna tell you all the order of the clubs, so you know
Sure.
that where I might be at each time.
Perfect. Yeah, Lorella lays out that plan to the team, like, going to hit these clubs in those orders. So now at least you know that. So even though we are, somewhat splitting the party, you're somewhat together. You have those communicators. If anyone's under distress, you can click that at any time. At least then you'll know someone needs help. Won't be able to communicate specifics, but at least there's that sort of I need help beacon, right? But you also know where Lorella's going in what order, that she's going to Spice, then the Tangler, then Jupiter. Tangler and Jupiter are on the edge of the market quarter and bazaar anyways. So once Lorella gets done checking out Spice and makes her way to Tangler and Jupiter, she'll actually be over by the bazaar and market anyways. You guys can probably meet up and see each other at that point. But yeah, let's go with that plan. So before Yuffie, Anaya, and Saya head to the market quarter, before Lorella heads to Spice, what are you telling the handful? First, you got the handful of performers that are going with you, Yuffie, Anaya, and Saya. They're ready to perform. But what are you telling the handful of performers or workers that are going to do flyer distribution? Just give me those details one more time, specifically what you're saying to them. Like where do you want us to put these out, and what do you want us to do? They're holding the flyers. They're ready to go.
Yeah, I think we would tell them, all right, well, any of you who have any connection to the waterfall, go there. We want to make sure that everyone feels welcome to come to the show. So include everyone when you're handing these out. Make sure that every single flyer ends up in a hand.
They look at
We
each
want
other.
a distribution throughout all of the residential and populated areas. Do not bother with the spice or the spaceports. We want places where people are living and moving through. So the guard complex, the merchant area, waterfall and residential areas, and of course we need a high amount in the Baron's state.
Let them know that if they want a preview of the show, that the Merchant District will have a couple of performances to give a taste of what they are to experience. So feel free to invite them if they have questions.
Okay. They kind of talk to each other for a moment, and like I don't think we'll have access to the Waterfall District. From what we hear, it's super strict. But we'll try. We'll see what we can do. But we'll hit everywhere else that we can. We'll get these flyers out and be back in time for practice.
And remember your manners. You are representing our house.
Of course, of course. Yeah, and as a group, they grab the flyers and head off. Unless there's anything else that you wanted to tell them. What was that?
Does the Duchess, by chance, maybe we could potentially ask her if she has any access to the Waterfall District? If you would kindly ask her, Duchess, do you by chance have access or a way for us to get into the Waterfall District to help distribute?
I don't personally, but I'm sure some of our attendees, maybe some of the advertiser investors that are involved with the performance and the Coliseum in general, they might see it worth giving access to promote the event if that's you're trying to get in there to promote.
Yes, that would be great actually if we could speak with one of them.
Sure. Let me. I'll try to arrange that. Where are you all headed first? Where are you going?
Most of us will be at the market
Okay.
district, the bazaar.
I'll find out. I'll speak to some of the nobles, some of the investors, and if I can work that out, I'll send someone to find you right away.
Much
I'll
appreciated.
probably send my assistant, but yeah, somebody will come and get you if I can work that out.
Perfect.
Wasting.
Well, shall we?
Let's.
We shall.
Yeah, and the group with flyers, they head off to kind of go do distribution as you guys have directed. As you four get together and head out of the Coliseum. Heading into the city, you notice that a lot of the city has now been covered. A lot of the shift roofs, the tents, the tarps, the things that automate for the sun and based on time of day have now been closed off and covered. You have lots of non-natural light, with the exception of natural light that is reflected in or kind of architecturally set to provide light. Other than that, picture the city kind of like Arrakis and kind of like daytime typical, where, yeah, it's a city, but everything is kind of inside, kind of like a covered dome feeling, you know? But that's kind of the vibe that you're getting with the city now that you're stepping out in the midday. You can start heading towards the merchant quarter. As you head in that direction, Lorella needs to split off, heading through the residential quarters over, heading towards the Waterfall district, residential district, and seeing Club Spice. Lorella, you see it up ahead. It's a large building. It's very narrow, which is kind of interesting. It almost stands as tall as some of the house citadels and bigger brands that kind of boast by that. This kind of doing the same for the brand Spice, right? For the club, it's very tall, thin building, lots of lights and things up towards the top, kind of bringing attention to it like a beacon. You can see the big logo of Spice on the front, with kind of like dust clouds done up in like glitter and stuff that's reflective, very flashy. Out front, you can see a couple what looks like private guards, because they're not wearing the typical like city guard uniforms or insignia, nor are they wearing the Harkonnen guard insignia, so you can tell this is private, and that's just to explain so you can kind of know what to expect moving forward when I describe things like this, you know. So you see a couple private guards there. There is a bit of a line waiting to get in. Looks like maybe about 10-15 people, and it's slowly moving. You can tell the guards are kind of, I don't know, questioning the people before they're letting them go in. But that's what you see as you approach and enter the line.
Okay. I'm gonna whisper to myself under my breath. This tape is awful. What are they using? As she like shimmies over towards the guards. Which of the guards look very susceptible? Possibly.
Yeah, it's hard to get a feel for susceptible because the traits that you're getting here are kind of authoritative and strict. They seem like they're all business. So unless you have a way to use momentum to remove one of those traits or replace it, and enter a new trait to that to make it a bit more susceptible or approachable or something like that, unless you have a different idea or approach in mind. But typically, Dune 2D20, you'll have those traits. If they're negative like that, if they're hindering, increasing the difficulty, you can change those by offering up momentum.
Trying to like skip the queue. Okay. How many momentum points do we have, guys?
I
think
had
you
just marked down 1. I
I
don't know if there are more.
thought you had
have like
3. I thought. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Okay. From the previous,
Oh.
so from the scene in the hotel, we had gotten 1. But I
But-
don't know
but-
from the performance.
Yeah, but I thought you got 2 in that performance, or was it just 1?
I thought it was 2.
I could be wrong. I'm bad at
Also,
Okay. We'll say
whose
3.
job is it to track it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's set.
I think we
who's-
have 3.
I'm not in
Yeah,
charge.
let's-
I
let-
tracked them in the first scene, and then I just.
Do you want? I'm happy to track them if you guys want.
I
Okay,
trust
yeah.
your tracking abilities.
Yes,
And
better
then-
than mine at
Let's
least.
say 3. Let's say 3.
So
Good,
I would have to
alright.
use 1, right? Like point to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah,
well, no,
okay.
you would use. I think it's you use 2 points of momentum to change the trait. Let me just double check.
Okay, just checking. I don't want to waste all momentum.
Yeah, because right now this gives you a -2, or another -1 to the difficulty because of those traits. Let me just make sure. Okay, here it is.
Don't forget they expire as well, so best
Yeah.
to
Do
use.
you have
what
anything
we've
from
got.
chat?
Yeah.
Did chat give us anything?
So
we did
still
get
we've got
-2 from
two.
Bronx Smash.
We've got
2
2
points.
-2s. Yeah.
2 points to create
2
a
minus
trait.
2s.
Or
Okay.
change it. Also, don't forget with momentum, you can buy D20s, right? 1 point of momentum for an extra D20, 2 for 2, 3 for the third one. You can also use momentum to obtain information, 1 point per piece of information from your GM. I'm also working on consolidating some of these key points of momentum thread, all these things, into a little Google Drive, and I'll share that with the team after this session. So you can always have that access. You can leave it open while we play and quickly see all those little notes.
Right. So I'm gonna walk up to one of the guards, one of the private security. I'm gonna saunter up there towards them, and I'm gonna use my mask of power. What's it called? The talent. And I'm gonna so it says once per scene you may create an asset at no cost, such as blackmail, evidence, or an owed favor that will allow you to initiate an intrigue or espionage conflict with the person of your choosing. So I'm gonna do it to one of the guards. Which one looks like soft? Can I tell in any way? Like in any way?
No, it's absolutely
Okay.
hard to tell because of the traits that are in place. They both look authoritative and strict.
Can I go towards the shorter one?
Sure, yeah, one is a little bit shorter than the other.
Okay. I'll go towards the short one, and I'm gonna use my mask of power, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, oh my god, do you remember the other day? Oh, I remember helping your mum. Is there any way you can help me get into the club? This queue is horrendous. It's my, I just really, I loved helping your mum the other day.
Trying to work, you're not coming to memory. I don't. But if you help my mother, yeah, that. Okay, I guess
I was
that
really
makes
struggling
sense.
with her shopping, if you remember. She went to the shops.
Okay. Now remind me too, as GM, that asset that you're using, it allows you to create a trait or an asset. What was that?
The asset is a lie, of course. You don't have anything,
okay,
but your target doesn't know that. Yeah.
Okay.
The
cool.
asset is removed once the conflict is over. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Cool. Then yeah, give me communication, or communicate. Pick the appropriate drive, and absolutely that worked to make the difficulty just a 1 instead of a 2.
Let's go. I don't know. I'd
Um,
like to say truth. Another thing.
Um,
But it's definitely not.
yeah, it's not truth. I would say it's either more with probably duty, or
Yeah.
maybe even power a bit. It's a little bit of sneaky maneuver to get the power of entering like VIP or whatever. Like just getting the upper hand on security, who's now in control. Now you're in control. You get to go in. But I also like yeah, kind of like a
Not happy to do this,
duty.
but she's doing it for her job.
Exactly, that too. Like, you're also, this is
Yeah.
also a mission. So I'll take either
Yeah.
one. Go with which statement makes most sense.
I'm going for duty. I don't have a statement for power. So, okay.
How?
I got 1 success. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, if it's 1 success, I think it goes to defender typically, unless I'm wrong. I know 2D20 systems typically like that. I don't remember reading that in Dune, but I know in Fallout other 2D20 it's, and just like in most game system, goes to defender or you have to beat the match. So in this case, yeah, he's confused, and I really appreciate that. Look, I can't bump you up or anything, but look, I'll let you in free of charge, but you got to get back in line, please.
Is there anything else I can do to try and make this easier? Or after the fact? Or re-roll a dice or anything?
Absolutely. If you want to use, did you have 2 momentum points left, Anaya? Because that's the other option, is you can use 2 momentum points to remove that sort of strict trait and make it more friendly.
We just spent 2, didn't we?
No, I didn't
Just-
use it in the end.
Oh,
She didn't
okay.
use
Then
it.
then we have 3 still in play.
Oh, there you
if
go.
you want to use 2?
If you want to use 2,
I'd
you
like
can
to ask the
absolutely.
group consensus.
Yeah.
I say
Yeah.
let's use them. Use them.
This is the most popular club. I can wait at the other one.
And don't
This is
forget,
the most popular
you
club.
got to use them in scenes. I bleed over some scenes
Yeah.
because some are too short for me. Like, you earn that in the Coliseum, but then you never got to do anything out. So I'm letting that kind of play out of the Coliseum a bit. So my scenes might bleed a little bit, but absolutely they are going to disappear sectionally somewhat. So use them when you got them, I would say. Yeah.
I'm going to use 2 of those then. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you change.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you say all that, and you notice his attitude goes from strict and authoritative to friendly, and he's like, "Oh, look, I'm not supposed to do this, but look, if you're helping moms and shit, like, it's cool. Here,
With that, I'm also going to put my hand on his shoulder. Just like, just to...
If you're a mom helper.
right.
if you're a mom helper, you're good in my book. This is cool. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Come on in. You see the other guard kind of like look confused and just go back to interrogating people, letting them in, and he lets you in, opening the door. You see the door opens, and a complete temperature change, brightness change. Everything in here is way more comfortable, way more relaxed. The air is even perfume scented. It's just really nice in here. You even feel the humidity raise up a bit as your skin just kind of feels a bit moisturized. Like it's a nice club, you can tell. But you come in, you can see the whole bottom level are people hanging out, mingling, drinking. There's a couple different bars on either sides of this big room. There's people kind of posted up and sitting, people standing. You can see there's a spiral staircase that kind of goes up the center of this tall, slender building, going up to the other levels. Can't see beyond that, but that's what you see as you enter the building. Going back over
When
to...
I get out of earshot, can I quickly go and keep walking?
Yeah.
Thought I just had to.
Absolutely. A little bit sprays out directly into your mouth as you walk by. It's horrible. No. But yeah, absolutely. You enter the club. But Yuffie, Anaya, and Saya, you see Lorella kind of break off going towards that tall club. You see in the distance as you kind of break off towards the market district. And you make your way over there, and it's what you would expect. It's super busy, people coming and going. Let me go ahead and try to set up some of these sound sets with Sirenscape. Again, we're a bit limited because there's no official Dune ones, but I am going to try to at least give some vibes to this. But yeah, you get into the market area, and you can tell that it's busy. There's people coming and going, shopping. There's all kinds of booths sets up. as well as actual structured shops and things in this area. You can even see the sign for the Tangler and Jupiter way on the other end. But aside from that, it kind of opens up into this big sort of marketplace. So you're looking at like all these booths and shops that align the outer edge of this marketplace, but the big center is like this bazaar where there's like tents and things. Think like a flea market vibe, right? So it's kind of centered around that with some open areas where like they'll do performances, sales. There's even some booths, like a row where you see like games set up, like where people can go and bet and do different things like you might see at like a fair. So it's very merchant quarter and bazaar vibed. The traits here, and you can even hear like a guy walking around singing. If you hear that in Sirenscape, I love Sirenscape, so cool. Yeah, aside from that, you can see merchants of spice, water, textiles, imports, liquor and wines, and consumables. You can see the Tangler, the Jupiter way on the other end, like I said. Yeah, people coming and going. The traits here, let me find it. I had it. Chaotic and loud. Lots of people talking, chattering, doing sales, even the occasional argument of people kind of bargaining and haggling. It's very loud. But aside from that, it's kind of chaotic. Lots of people coming and going.
So is this going to be a challenge for us to get the attention of all of these people to kind of lay eyes on our performance if it's chaotic and loud? Is my question.
It might be hard to initially turn heads, but once we start performing, gradually people will notice it.
True.
It'll be a different flavor of chaos.
Exactly. We have a few different scenes that they've picked out, so building in intensity. Meanwhile, far out. Oh my god, he's being so annoying. In the meantime, he's being chaotic and loud.
His traits? No.
In the meantime, we can make their job easier by starting to personally hand out some of these flyers.
Yes.
And I would also just like to, as I'm moving around, kind of get a sense of, any shady characters, any kind of people that look like they are being accompanied by their own kind of guard or, entourage, looking for persons of note. What would I need to roll for that?
Understand. Give me understand and tell me what drive, obviously being led by your statement, you would like to accompany that understand.
Yes. Drive. I think
that sounded like the beginning of a Beastie Boys song to me. I had like a weird 90s flashback. It's like whatever song that was. I don't know. It sounded just like it.
He's got opinions.
Shut up! Oh
He's
my
hungry.
God.
It's morning, right? He's hungry.
I know. But like, also shut up. You know what I mean? Like, noisy dogs don't get fed.
He's cute.
Sure, if that's what we want to call him. Look, I would say that it's all coming back to duty. Personally, that that we are making a presence as a house, but also I'm looking to protect the house.
Then give me understand duty and tell me, what you're looking out for, what you're trying to get out of this, what you're trying to understand out of this check.
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to look for the big players.
Okay, difficulty of 1.
I can't just roll with a drive. It's a skill still, right? Understand.
Exactly, you always hit a skill first. And the way Dune 2D20, just to clarify that, the GM always suggests the skill based on the task, and then the player typically suggests the drive based on the statement. Usually you try to go with whichever has a statement first, and then if not, then you rely on a different drive that doesn't have a statement. But yeah.
Yep. And still 2 die? 2 dice?
Yeah, always 2d20 unless you buy more with
unless
momentum.
I buy one.
Exactly,
Yep.
but this only has a difficulty of 1, shouldn't be that hard.
I don't have a focus for this, so did it roll?
Nice,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, and you got 2 successes, so there's another
Excellent.
point of momentum. And
There we are.
yeah, you can tell right away that it seems like, scattered within the crowd. I mean, it's a mix of people, but you can pick out like, which groups are like noble families or nobles or from like minor houses versus nascent. You know what I mean? So like, you're making it out. You can tell. So depending on what you want to do, just let me know. But out of all the crowds, booths, things, absolutely, you can pick out which seem to be more important or more nobility or the bigger spenders.
Fantastic. I might point them out to Sister and Sire and Yuffie, and them being more charismatic figures, it might be best if they kind of like take the lead, ingratiating themselves to that house, but making sure that those houses are presented to first with any kind of marketing materials. Yeah, that's my kind of strategy.
Nice. What about Yuffie and
Yeah,
Saya?
And so I was initially keeping an eye out for kind of a similar sort of thing, whilst handing out some flyers, paying attention to the people she's handing them to, but also kind of eyes on a swivel. And so once they kind of reconvene about all of this, she would likely one of the entourages nearby would just kind of work her way over toward it.
What about Yuffie?
Yeah, I suppose if Insai is gonna go to one house, I will go to one of the other houses that Anaya pointed out and head over to them as well.
Okay.
I might stay and not inspire, just make sure that the performers are set up, that they're going to be operating in like the best lighted place. That's also not going to like constrict walkways.
Sure. Give me. Let's do this. Before I get back to Lorella in the club in Spice, let's do this. Yuffie's heading to one group of kind of like big spenders, nobles or such, and Saya's going to a different one. Anaya's staying with the performers, trying to kind of clear out a little area in one of these clear areas to get them to perform. So let's just do a few checks here. Let's get Anaya to do something with. I'll let you decide, move or discipline, because this is you, physically like moving people back, giving room for the performers, making sure they're set up, getting some attention. But it's also discipline in the sense that, authoritative figure in a sense of trying to get the crowd to back up, make some room for the team. So I'll take that as well. What do you want to use for skill?
I'll go for discipline. I also have a focus in it, which is precision. So I think that tells a nice story there of she is assessing what is around her, and in her mind she is quickly rattling off who she needs to delegate to, which performers she needs to command where, and to keep the flow of the marketplace working, but also in a way that all eyes will be on us.
Perfect. Yeah, go with that. Pick a drive to attach. Difficulty of 0. This is just to generate momentum as you're, clearing people out and making sure the performers are ready to do their thing. Did you roll it? I heard it. I don't think I did it.
Yes, that is a 2 and a 2.
Oh, there it is. Nice. Yeah, you got to. Actually, you rolled 2 sevens, which generated 2 successes each. So now you have 4 points of momentum. That just generated. So that's great. So
that's 6 in total, gang. If we need to do anything,
you're maxed out. You max out at 6 points of momentum. So that's awesome. You guys are maxed out with 6 points of momentum that any of you can use over the course of this scene. But let's take it over to Yuffie, walking up to the first group. You basically see, it looks like a noble, a man, a woman, some assistants, workers, maybe even a mentat with him. You can tell by the sappho juice stain on his lip. But, they're kind of posted up by these spice traders, like this sort of section with these booths of spice traders. But you can see them, and they're standing there. The two nobles are kind of talking to each other.
I will kind of just stroll up and, hello, I hope I'm not interrupting anything. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Euphemia. I go by Euphy for short. I am of House, as I'm trying to remember her name, House Tatara. House Tatara, and I wanted to cordially invite all of you to our performance tonight, or anytime in the next 2 weeks, whatever works best for your schedule. And I hand them a couple of flyers and just give them some details on the play and what will be happening. We have a performance that'll be happening momentarily in the square here, so you can get a little glimpse of it for yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a communicate.
Okay.
Check. Let me know what drive you're going to use if it's driven by a statement. Also, there's another -2 there from the good guy too. -2.
cool.
Yeah, don't forget we got some -2s. I think we have a
We
few
have
now. We have like
This one.
Yeah.
3 of them. Don't forget, anytime you roll your 2d20, you can take that -2 to reduce the roll if you need to make it a success or if it helps, or to get out of a complication. That can also help.
Can I give a shout out? That's one of my friends. Hey, Dave.
Absolutely.
Hey. So, I know we've been using duty a lot, but this is, in general, we are all using. This is our duty, and mine is I know my responsibilities. So this really is what we're trying to accomplish here. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use duty for this as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and these
I'll
are
add that -2.
Yeah, and keep in mind drives. There's only 5. There's 5 skills. So absolutely, we're gonna use a lot of these often and stuff because they're diverse. Each one of these can handle a good array of things. So it makes sense. It's good. Hey, Rise and Valkyrie, look at you rewarding your own team.
So
yeah,
when I'm
for sure.
adding the -2, do I
Don't do it
anything, or do
here.
we just add that after?
At
Okay.
the end. At the end. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Oh,
No.
Use the -2s. Use the -2s.
Yeah, even using the -2 wouldn't help there that you claimed. However, one thing that I homebrew, keep this in mind because this is something different. I do this in all my other games too. Typically you would have to claim that -2 prior to the roll, just like most mods. Like you have to let me know, hey, I want to use that -2, like you did this time. But you can always use -2 after a roll for double the cost. If that ever saves the day, or you need it, or you forget to claim a -2, then do a roll and you're like, ah, shit, I want a -2 there. It'll be at the cost of -4, ultimately. You know what I mean? So double the cost after the roll, or normal prior. So you have that option.
I mean, we do have 4 -2s if you would like to use.
Exactly. That's,
Yes,
that's why I was
Do
bringing
it.
that up.
Yeah, if
I
you want to
say-
do it.
I
if they
say do it.
stack. Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's
We
literally
want to
the,
carry favor with these houses. So.
exactly. I was gonna say it's literally the difference between this noble accepting this conversation or not. So if that's
Yeah.
important to you, then yeah, I would use it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and use the 3 of them, 3 -2s, if they're if
2.
we're allowed to stack, or 2,
2.
2 -2s.
2 for the post.
Okay.
You say all that, and he turns. Okay. Very well. I'm with House Zanir. Nice to meet you. Centaura, your house is putting on the performance with the games for the next weeks. I've seen the promotions.
Yes, we are very excited to, especially have some like yourself to be in attendance. We hope that you'll be there.
Oh, absolutely. I don't miss any of the games, and this one in particular has your performance. I'm interested to see what this is about.
We are also having a bit of an after party for our premiere event, and we'd love to have maybe some representatives from your house in attendance.
Sure. Yes. What after the event? After party at the
Yes,
Coliseum?
Yes, it's after our premiere show, which is tonight, right? It's not tomorrow night. It's tonight.
Tomorrow night is the premiere.
After tomorrow night. So I'll give you the details, and perhaps we'll see you there then.
Okay, very well. He looks to the people he's with, and they kind of nod. You can tell they're in positive mood. It was you use the -2 to push it in your favor. They're receptive. They like it. They're attending. He'll be there.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I give them the details. I hand them a couple flyers and just like jot a few notes about where the party will be as well.
Oh, we're looking forward to it. We'll see you there. Yuffie, you said your name was.
Yes, Yuffie.
Nice.
Yes.
Very well. Yes.
Nice to meet
House
you.
Zanir. House Zanir. I'm Warren.
Warren. Perfect.
And then over to Insaya, you approach the other nobles that are kind of posted up. These ones aren't at a particular merch booth or anything. They're off in one of the clearings. It looks like they're standing there talking to each other and eating some food that they got from one of the vendors. But they're standing there just eating. A couple nobles, assistants, the same type of group that Yuffie just dealt with. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Inside will position herself nearby, near enough that she's gonna get their attention, but not like right up in the middle of them. And she's gonna start doing a little performance, just a little something. And sorry, I have to click over.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so she's gonna do that to try and get their attention.
That'll be a
and it's gonna be,
communicate.
yeah, and it's gonna be something about like pretty obviously directed at them, like along the lines of, "You look like you have good taste. You should come to see the show."
Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah, give me a communicate. Decide what drive fits best for that. Hopefully backed by a statement. Let me know if there's any assets, any traits you want to change with the momentum. Don't forget all those sort of functionality things that change the difficulty and stuff. Other than that, this is just a difficulty of 1 to get to engage in this conversation in a positive way.
I think we're gonna use truth, because truth is the most powerful weapon, and they surely look like they have good taste.
Yeah, and you're not trying to persuade or lie or anything. You're truthfully saying, "Hey, you look like you have high taste. You come from money. You should come to our event." Like, it kind of is what it is. So that makes sense. Yeah, give me that.
And it is using a focus as well, so.
Nice. What's the okay, yeah, you put the focus in the automatic roll. I forgot it automatically does that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice, there you go. 2 more points of momentum. I don't know if you're maxed out at the 6 still or what, but just keep that in mind. It only maxes at 6, but there's 2 more if you need them above the 1 difficulty. Hey, thanks, Cole Drake, for following. Also, thanks for the previous follows. I didn't get to shout them out because we were in the middle of role-playing, but typically I like to shout those out when I see them pop up. I really appreciate the support. But yeah, they are kind of eating. You start playing and doing that, and you see they kind of stop and smile and like looking at each other, and they're even kind of like dancing while they're eating. Hey, look at this. We're getting serenaded. This is awesome. Very well done. Very, very, very well done. And they're like clapping. They're enjoying it.
Thank you so much. And it's not all fabrication. We are going to be doing a show tomorrow night, and with persons. So clearly, fans of good taste such as yourselves, we are in fact having an after party afterward that we would, of course, want to class the place up with.
Oh.
Persons such as yourself.
Very well. You can count us on being there. House Mantle will be there.
Wonderful. And she's going to kind of extend a hand out. Yes, inside of House Satara.
Ah, nice. Very nice to meet you. I'm Ben.
Wonderful.
And like I said, our house is House Mantle. And we'll attend. When's your premiere? How long are you running?
We'll be running for 2 weeks, and the premiere is tomorrow night, but the after party is only after tomorrow night. And certainly I would love to see you there.
Okay. You can count on House Mantle will be there.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, they smiled. They were real receptive. Enjoyed it very much. And you've basically got these confirmations of these invites. At least a couple of these noble families will be attending. Anaya was able to kind of clear out the area in process, generating the momentum that helped you guys have those successes. And the performers are ready to kind of do their thing to get attention in the middle of this bazaar now, as Yuffie and Saya you're still with the nobles. You can still engage in conversation when we get back, or you can, leave it at the invite and go back to Anaya and the performers to try to get attention there. But you decide that. We'll see that when we get back. For now, let's go over to Lorella, who has entered Spice, got sprayed with some of that perfume in the air, But yeah, like I said, nice temperature drop, much more comfortable in here. People are socializing. There's some music playing. Like I said, the spiral staircase going up and the bars on the sides. But that's what you see when you enter.
Type of music.
What was that?
What type of music is it?
Oh, type of music. Yeah, it's all instrumental. It has a very kind of a dance Arabic feel, almost like a electronica with a touch of traditional.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to. How packed is the bar?
Pretty crowded. This whole place is pretty crowded. And the vibe you're getting is, I want to say, almost snobbish. Like a little bit arrogant. You can tell that everyone in here is here because they have the money or they know the people that get in. It's that type of place. Shit's expensive.
Okay. I'm gonna start walking towards the spiral staircase, but dancing as well on the way, so it looks like I fit in on what I'm doing. I'm not on a mission or anything. I'm just blending in. And I'm gonna head up the spiral staircase.
Nice. Yeah, you head up the spiral staircase. You can see on the next level, it's all dance floor. There's just people dancing to the music, socializing, having a good time.
I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, you go up to the next level, and you can see this level is more of a lounge. People are kind of lounging, hanging out, talking, socializing. There's like chairs, booths, sort of couch lounge furniture sort of items, like a mix of old and modern furniture, all different sizes and shapes, and people just mingling and hanging out. You can see that the spiral staircase that continues on, it looks like there's another security guard at this point, keeping people from going above that level.
So he's standing right next to me.
Exactly, yeah. Like when you got up on that level, where it continues on, he's kind of blocking that next platform going up the next spiral.
Okay. I am going to, again, use my persuasion just like the first guard. I am going to use my Mask of Power. And I am going to say, oh, sorry, I need to get past you because they ordered a few packs of cigars. And also, I need to take the drink orders as well. I know the VIPs are very particular about their orders.
Okay, yeah, give me communicate. Decide the drive that makes most sense. This is going to be a difficulty of 2. This guy's.
I'm going to
coming
use
across
a -2.
Do it. We have a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna use a -2. As well as 2 momentum points because we can, because we got 6. If that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, keep in mind you can use one momentum point.
absolutely.
You can use 1 momentum point to get an extra D20. This is a difficulty of 2, so rolling 3 might help. So you can use 1 momentum for an extra D20, or 3 momentum for 2, I think is what it is, because I think it's like 1 for the first one, 2 for the second one.
So it's not easier if I use a -2.
Oh no, that helps too, because then whatever that roll is, you deduct 2 from that stat, which could put you into a success. So, I mean, all of these things can help. But you're looking at a difficulty of 2.
Okay.
Your only ways to
I'm
help that
going
are negative
to-
2s or momentum for more dice.
I'm gonna use 1 momentum out of our 6. I don't want to use half of it. So I use 1, and I'm gonna have an extra dice, as well as use one of the -2s that we have, which is 4 of those, I believe.
Nice. Okay, perfect. Yeah, give me 3 dice under communicate. What drive did you pick?
Sure, yeah. I think it's gonna have to be duty, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say duty or power at
Yeah.
this point. This is very influential. You're trying to get past this. You are using your what is the asset or the your talent, but
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's all driven by either duty or I think power trying to influence. So either one of those works for me.
Do me dirty, come on. Seriously?
Ooh, yeah, you got 1 success and a complication. Yeah, the bouncer looks at you.
No!
He looks at you. No, look, you don't work here. You need who let you in? What is this? I don't even see your band. What is this about? No, let's go. And he kind of like puts his hand on your shoulder and starts going to escort you down the stairs.
God damn it. Can I? Okay. I'm gonna try and get out of his grip. Because what is he holding right now? My arm.
Yeah, he's just holding your arm, you know, like a bouncer would do, you know, just kind of grabbing the throat. Okay, time to go, you know.
Oh. So I'm either thinking, I'm either gonna use my rapid maneuver or my prana bandhu to get my body to move around the staircase. So essentially, I'm gonna grab the side of the staircase and swing myself out of his grip behind him to go run upstairs.
Okay.
I don't know if that works.
Slippery.
Yeah, I'm gonna use. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do that maneuver in some way.
Yeah, you could do that. Keep in mind that doing that maneuver now, this is kind of since he's engaged in this physical contact to escort you out of the building on the fail. This is kind of engaging in a bit of a combat situation. So in combat, you know, you have to decide your move first, whether you're moving subtly or boldly. So I would look at those first if you're doing a movement. I believe like the idea.
Boldly.
Yeah, the idea here is if you're either moving an asset to a different zone, which is you kind of like passing him to go upstairs. But I believe you have to do, you know, if you move subtly, I'm not seeing it here in the notes. It's you still get to do a move after that. If you succeed on the subtle move, it means that you can still do your action aside from the move, like an initiative. Otherwise, then it'll be his turn if you fail on that move.
Okay.
That's a difficulty of 2. Or if you move boldly, the idea is that you're not moving subtly, like without him noticing to then get a move, but you get to move to that zone, and then you control where he moves based on your movement, meaning you could do that sort of contortion move around the staircase, and if you succeed, you end up upstairs, and you boldly moved where you threw him off, and it actually made him go down a level or 2. Like he was confused by your movement going around and like dove after you or whatever and went to a different zone. You can boldly move him by that, or you can subtly move yourself, and then you get an extra action. And I hope I'm understanding that right. It is a little bit confusing, but that's how the move works when you initiate in battle or whatever, which is what this is doing because it's physical, you know? Or you can completely change your mind and go with him escorting you out or whatever, now that you see that that's kind of what your options, you know? Because it's not so simple as just dipping out of his grip and moving, like, you know, it's kind of a battle.
Of course.
Yeah. So
Gonna
you
judo
can
him.
think about that for a moment. Let me know. And obviously team chat, you know, offer opinion and stuff. This is our first session. We're kind of, you know, working out the kinks here and figuring out the best way to
Judo
work these
him.
rules and play and stuff. Let's all talk it out if you want. I'm fine with that.
I got the devil on my shoulder now.
I'm not a good person to give advice on situations like this.
Kill
by
him.
the way.
Kill him.
Yeah.
Oh my
Down,
God.
take his eyeball out.
Destroy him.
Burn the club down.
I guess.
Yeah, it's hard because he's rumbled you, right? So by playing by the rules, you are in the wrong here. You shouldn't be in this club.
Yeah.
He should not put hands.
Hey, I got let in by
Straight up.
security, so why am I not allowed in this club? I'm just saying. I actually am meant to be in this club.
Well, because you tactfully manipulated him to let you in, though, is the thing. And now this guy kind of caught it by that fail. You know, caught
He didn't know that.
No, he didn't. He doesn't know the reasoning, but he caught the fact that you're in here without normal means. You're not. You didn't pay. You didn't get the stamp. Like the dude just kind of let you in. So he's kind of busted that moment. You know, he kind of realized that was the complication. He has no idea how you got in, but he knows you're in here.
Okay.
But
Go
yeah,
big or go home, I'm assuming.
yeah, it's either or, and you know, like I said, not to metagame too much. This being first a session, we can talk it out a little, and you know, at least explain like in the mechanics what makes sense in, you know, if you move, you can then get your next move and continue on if it's subtle. You kind of sneak your way out of the grip, and then you go upstairs, and then you can still have an action or something. Not that he wouldn't pursue, because like he knows you're here, he knows that you shouldn't be here, right? If you go boldly, it kind of diverts him in a different direction. You can put him somewhere else which buys you some more time. He's still not going to forget that you're there, you know. You do have the security downstairs that somewhat has your back. I don't know that he would fight for you, but he might vouch for you. It might be another role, but you've already influenced him to have your back a little. I'll take that into consideration, you know. So, like I said, not to metagame too much, but just it's the first session, so let's talk it out a little and look at some options, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you are kind of like an assassin, so it could be a thing to
and chat has
like
ideas too.
sneak away and then use your mask to kind of like change shape, features, and then just kind of slip back in unnoticed.
Yeah,
like,
don't forget your assets. Your assets can come into play. I forgot you've got the face changing thing that could come into play.
Yeah,
but
playing more to the kind of like assassin of like, you know, you slip away from things.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
See,
too.
if I could possibly bold move him down, put on the mask, and then change what I look like.
It'll take him a second to come back up. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's the tactful approach.
By then, I'd look something different. Someone completely different, essentially.
That seems to be that makes the most sense to me as far as a tactful approach. And you're absolutely right. The only way you could kind of get that on to do it with him right there already seeing you is to boldly get him to be in a different zone, which is that's the way to do it. Do a bold move.
I'm gonna give it to chat for a 10-second chat. Can everyone in chat? Can you put either boldly or what was the other one?
Subtly. It's either subtly or boldly.
Yeah. Boldly, go for it.
Or the choice you're not going to make.
No. I want suggestions. Come on, chat.
Also,
I believe in you.
Shout out to Cole Drake. They're giving some suggestions in PWB. Nice. Also, Vampire Bites for the raid. I'm glad you're back. You were here at the beginning. I know you had your session and things, and you're back with a little raid there. I appreciate that shit. That's awesome, man. Thanks so much.
I'm seeing a lot of bold, just by the way.
I'm seeing a lot of bold. I think you should go.
Yeah.
Bold.
Let's
go for it. Difficulty 2.
Let's do it.
It's your move.
Okay.
So move.
If the group is okay with it,
yeah.
I'm about to use up all the motivation, momentum points, all the minus
we
2.
only for so long.
I will tell you this too.
Yeah.
It not only doesn't last per scene. This is kind of the end of that scene. We're also getting to that point too. Like, you know, session's going to be over. I'd say not to meta too much, but fucking go for it. Let's see what happens.
I'm about to spend all this money.
Where's
those?
Yeah.
We need to get to this house.
PWB. Thanks, PWB. There's a negative 2.
If you want to just...
Use them if you got them.
We have 4 negative 2s. We also have 5 momentum points to use, I believe.
Yeah.
I am going to spend 3.
We have 5, but we only have now 2 negative 2s. Because they were up earlier. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have 2 left.
But you can use both of them.
Use them all. Use everything.
I say go for it. Yeah.
We just received one though, to be fair, and I got one, so we actually have 3 minus 2s.
You got one.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. We have 3. So
slid that one in there.
Yeah. I'm gonna use the first minus 2 in the initial roll, and maybe spend the other 2 if I need it at the end of it. I am also going to
not to meta like I said, but it's the end.
Yeah.
Use them all at the beginning. There's no point in saving because they're going to be gone at the end of today's session anyways.
Okay.
Our lovely fans will reimburse us next session, right?
Hopefully.
I'm hearing a yes.
Unless they really hate the GM and team and they're never coming back. I don't know. That'd be depressing.
Okay.
I can't hate these faces.
Okay. So I am going to use 3 momentum points to get 2 extra dice, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then it's how many other momentum points to get another dice?
I think it's 3. Yeah, it's like 1 for the first, 2 for the second, 3 for the last, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So at this point,
how many dice is it if I use all of them?
You could do 3 more dice, right?
So 3 in total, right?
5 total,
Extra.
and I think that's the max you can do anyways.
Everything we've got.
So yeah, 5.
Do it.
Cool.
5
so
dice.
That's gonna be
2 negative 2s.
3 negative 2s, by the way. It's 3.
Oh, okay.
So I've got 3 negative 2s, 5 dice, and am I able to use move on this one as it's a move?
Yeah, it would
as
be
a movement.
Yeah, that's what it is. It would be your move.
Okay.
Because you're
cool.
moving boldly. So you decide the drive, and it's difficulty 2 whenever you're ready.
Oh. I'm going to use my justice because it says I will get revenge on those who have wronged me, and he is pissing me off right now.
Love
Nice.
laid
Yeah.
hands. I just, you know.
I'm just laying hands right now. Like, hands down. Okay. Oh, maximum 6 dice, by the way, I think. It goes up to 6.
Okay, cool. Just like
think.
momentum. Nice. Well, you got 5.
Yeah.
Just need
Cool, in total.
2 successes.
Come on, don't do me dirty. Come on.
You go,
You
dice.
can do it!
That's 3, 4, 5 successes.
Yes.
Minus, and the other 0 goes down to 10 because I've got the 3 minus 2s, so that's actually 6 successes.
Hey.
Well, hey, you just generated
We love to see it.
a bunch of momentum back that you don't even need, though, because it won't last past scene. However, what a great roll. You absolutely boldly moved up to the next level, kind of darting past him. Like you said, you kind of like, contort out of his grip, kind of around the spiral staircase, grabbing the center, almost flipping up around him, making your way up the staircase. He looks confused. He kind of like spins around and tells him, stumbles back and actually falls down to the next level and instantly starts getting up like, what the fuck? He starts like climbing up and running up the stairs, like trying to catch back up to you. But you've made your way up to the top. I imagine you're
Can you see me yet?
What's that?
Can you see me still at the top of the stairs yet, or is he still running up?
No. You're already up there. You're able to do the hood and all that. So if you want to
Alright,
describe,
new face.
yeah.
She's going to be long blonde flowing locks, piercing green eyes, slight tan, and she's going to be up there. And she is, even though she's in a dress, because fuck it, she is going to flip into the room as a show of talent.
Nice. Nice. I'll give you you can easily flip into the room as a show of talent. We won't do a roll because I would make that just to generate some momentum, make sure it's not a crit fail, but we don't need it for the end of our session. But absolutely contort past him, doing a flip up into the top level, kind of flipping on the cloak, changing the face. Just as you land in that thing, getting the cloak on and changing the face, people are like startled and look towards who just flipped up into the room just in time to see the new face, not the old one transition. So everyone up there just sees you as this new cloaked face flipping into the room. Everyone's like, wow, okay. Some people even clap like, that was interesting. Carry on doing what they're doing and socializing and mingling. And behind you,
I hold out a box of cigars to everyone.
Nice. Yeah, people are enjoying some cigars. Some people are taking them. But as you land and you make that hit, you see the security guard now at this point kind of come scurrying up the stairs, a spiral staircase to the top platform, kind of stops and like looking around. And he just looks really fucking confused, and he's just looking around, and he starts making his rounds. You see him going around the room, stopping and talking to people and like just looking at them and talking. Like he's obviously going around now systematically trying to interrogate everyone up here and look at them. You see him start to do that as we end the session today. Let's end it. I was trying to wait for a nice little cliffhanger, and I think this is a great little moment, or at least some sort of like, display of action or something. I really liked what was going down in the market, like real success with Anaya clearing out the area for the actual flash mob and able to generate momentum. So in Yuffie and in Sayo were able to successfully mingle those nobles into the event. But then I was like, man, I got to go back to Lorella because I loved those successes in the social aspect, but I was hoping for a little bit of action. And I was going to go back to the club and try to think of some type of action thing or confrontation. And Lorella created it for herself and made that scene awesome. What a great job. That was a lot of fun. That was cool.
Thank you.
Also, drinking game called it. Anytime she goes anywhere, she's flipping there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to play along, grab a drink, any drink.
Yep.
Take a sip.
somewhere.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Preferably coffee from House Satara.
Ooh.
Yes.
And I'll-
Hashtag ad. For
and I'll say
Also-
this,
I never stop plugging.
and out to
Also-
what was that?
We got a redeem a -2. Can we use that next session, please?
Nice.
It was after my.
Yeah, I'll let you store the -2 for the
alright.
beginning of next session.
Yay.
Yeah.
That was from my lovely girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Nice.
love it.
Yeah, we'll
Oh
keep
yeah,
that.
can't
then.
let that go to waste.
Yeah, exactly. You'll have that -2 at the beginning of next session, no problem. And I definitely like that drinking game way more than the one that we seem to have going on in our Cyberpunk game, me and Ellen and Rocket, where anytime there's like a poop or fart joke or something because of the first session being kind of this toxic designer plague. Like it became this sort of ongoing poopy joke. Everyone drink, and it's funny.
That's
But I'm looking
hilarious.
forward to
It
this
is funny.
refreshing version of that, where it's actually like.
Yeah.
If I try and get everyone drunk, I might break my neck at some point. So wait till that session happens.
Nice, I love it. Hey, great first session. I want to give props to all my players, everybody in chat for contributing -2s and just advice and just being part of our story. It means so much to have you here. And again, I'm going to say it again, thanks to the players again for being back here. I think it's a really cool all-femme Bene Gesserit team, and I'm so glad that all of you have joined this and been part of this and are bringing it to life. It's so much fun. And also, getting into these new rules, doing Dune 2D20 and kind of, I don't know, learning as we go. I feel like it wasn't that bad. I didn't have to look up too many things. I didn't feel like any of us were too far off. There are a couple little things I want to look up post-stream to make sure that I was right and that we have certain terminology things correct. There might be a little errata at the beginning of next stream. I'll always do that. Anytime that we have to fix something, I'll mention it in the next stream. And always moving forward, we'll be moving proper, always moving forward with the changes. Hell yeah, let's all show off the book.
I love this book. It's like,
It's so beautiful.
This is such a good book. Like,
I do
art
too.
is just
I don't have a hard
beautiful.
copy, sorry guys.
There was
this
there was like the
Oh, yeah.
special hardcover,
And
which
I've got-
has I
got the
believe
dice
it's
too,
Yeah,
I
I've got-
believe it's House Atreides symbol, but like it was like
Oh.
$200 as opposed to like this one being 100. So I was like,
They matched out.
Oh, the dice
Those
are
are
nice.
so pretty.
Yeah, I saw that. I
have to
saw the
say,
other
I
ones.
do
I'm like,
that much.
"Ugh, I want those other artistic ones, but they are expensive. But they look so
I know.
fucking good.
$200.
Yeah.
maybe
Um,
for Christmas.
Yeah. But no, I got the regular sand dune dice set from Modiphius,
that's what I
and then I got the melange ones. They actually sent me these with the GM screen in appreciation
Oh, so cool.
for promoting
So
and doing that.
cool.
So that's really cool. And look, it matches the overlay spiced out
Yeah,
eyes.
nice.
That's yeah.
Oh.
the Arrakis eyes.
We love to
Awesome.
see it.
All right. Well, cool. The one thing I'm going to just reiterate once more at the end is telling everybody in chat, anybody watching the VOD or here for the live stream, make sure you support all of us. All of us are content creators. It's not just Cybernation Uncensored right here on this channel, but all the players also run their own brands. They have their own channels. They kick out their own content. So please check out the links in the description. Follow, subscribe to all of us on all our channels and things. Just show us some love, give us some appreciation for all the shit we do. We would really appreciate that. That would just mean so much. So please do that, and we'll see you next time. We do this last Sunday of every month. So we'll see you Sunday of June, the last Sunday of June, and we'll be promoting that. So you'll see the
Sorry.
the promos.
The
now.
last Sunday of June.
Nice. And that's where we'll end. See you next time.
Cybernation Uncensored.